Revival House Network.
And don't like the brags, I don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks that like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it, yo, a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that, do that, do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
What's up, everybody? BTM boys are here from the Revival House Network, and we are kicking off the new year, sorta, because technically our first podcast commentary of the new year was a straggler Christmas one. We did that, let's see who's fucking saying shit now, or whatever.
Look who's talking, baby.
Oh my God. So we did that technically, but this is our first official new year. We're outside of the Christmas window podcast, and we're doing the Joker. And Joker's been requested quite a few times recently. So
Requestploitation 2, the sequel.
I think so, man. We got another push for an idea for an exploitation idea that I'll read in the comments later. That I think's a great idea. But anyway, yeah, I mean, maybe January should be all about taking those requests more seriously this month.
Oh, yeah.
It's always nice to cleanse the palate because we do a back-to-back holiday fucking exploitation with October. We do something for November and December. It's kind of good to get grounded again and just mix it up and not have much of a theme and just start digging into that archives we got. Maybe one of these, maybe we should finally fucking do Alone in the Dark. I think that's our longest standing, thing in the box. And that could start our UE exploitation.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, this is a 2 hour and 1 minute and 48 second flick. So let's go ahead and get it started in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hell yeah, motherfucker. This movie made $96.2 million in opening weekend.
Yeah, it's the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time now.
Now,
and I think...
do you think it had something to do with the fact that the media was telling us we can't watch it? We're not supposed to watch it.
That mixed with the fact that everybody jerks off the Joker character.
Mm-hmm.
It was the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, and I think either the most profitable comic book movie of all time or the most profitable R-rated movie. I want to say it's the most profitable comic movie because it was relatively low budget, like what, 50 million or something?
Yeah.
And in these comic movies, man, I remember back in the day, like 80 to 100 million was tentpole. That budget was fucking insane. Now it's like these comic book movies, they're over 200 million.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know they're going to make 1 to 1.5 billion. So they really push the fucking marketing. I don't think it really shows in how the movies look. In fact, I think the Marvel movies over time, they look even more and more apparent. They're all shot on a green screen. Like some of them are like, okay, I just feel like I'm inside a virtual reality video game right now. So it's all going to the talent.
Yeah.
I'm throwing all these A-listers in these fucking movies. We got to jam pack them with 20 to 30 fucking million people.
But this movie looks like a real movie. Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking juggalo in this movie. It's donk.
You got one A-lister. It's a good flick, man. You gave it a 7 out of 10?
Yeah, but I think it could go up. Like, I'm still, it's one of those movies after you watch it, you're still thinking about it later. It's
a strong flick because they made a genre flick. Obviously, it's taking cues from all the Scorsese shit. I don't know what happened. Scorsese still has a name on this as a producer, but I think originally he was going to be super involved in a producer role. And then I think midway through he backed out, but he still kept some kind of like executive producer credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's taken tabs from The King of Comedy, Taxi Driver. There's a whole bunch of nods in here. So it is derivative, but not in a bad way. We've never seen. I personally don't have a problem with shit being derivative. Like sometimes film critics and elitists, they'll use it as a negative dig, but it's not really. The idea is if you're going to do something derivative, do something new with it. And we've never seen a comic book adaptation or a character like this with that shit in it, right? So that it works very well.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the controversy behind this movie too. For some reason,
All right.
the military originally. Now I don't know if it was just because like, oh yeah, the last Batman movie that was in the theaters, like there was a shooting at it. So we gotta fucking be really careful with this movie. They basically put out a thing saying like, oh yeah, watch out for the incels. The incels are gonna come. They're gonna shoot up the movie or something.
That I've never seen a greater case of the media creating something. That was absolutely media created. That whole uproar and that shit.
Well, it looked like it was the U.S. military created.
I don't know, man. But regardless, if somebody made sort of a passive remark from the military about it, the media took that shit and ran with it, and they essentially created shit that wasn't there.
Yeah, so like the fucking it became like a big fucking thing in the incel forums. Like they were like, hell yeah, this fucking movie, it's about us, it's for us. And like the incels, they tend to like lean like right wing, so they were like really fucking like, yeah, this movie's about us, yeah, fuck yeah. And then the movie comes out and it's like about a crusty rich dude that like takes money away from government programs, and the guy becomes a victim of it. They're like, fuck, this isn't right, we get off, fuck this movie.
You know, I think you can obviously see parallels with current society and shit like that. Everything from the medical system, obviously mental health and all that bullshit. You know, the hierarchy with Thomas Wayne. Okay, all that stuff. But I think people are digging too much of a hole with that. It's like, dude, it's not that. Don't fucking break it open that much. I don't, not everything has to be this big fucking grand message, but it's cool.
No, bro, the incel rising is coming. You just fucking wait.
And he does I don't think he's overrated. His performance is not overrated. And I think it's funny, dude. Look at, I don't know much about the comics or anything, but if this is a totally unique spin, I think it's cool where they gave him that like defect or that medical condition where he just fucking laughs uncontrollably. It's pretty cool.
And you don't know if it's real or not.
Well, by the end of it, I knew there was some controversy. I mean, we'll get there, obviously, but the very end scene where, you know, it's basically created that meme, you wouldn't get it. You know, he's holding the cigarette. There's people are talking about it like, wait a second, was he in the psych ward the whole time? Did any of that shit happen? Or is this in the future after he's been there a while and it did happen? I mean, they're making, well, I don't know if they're doing Joker 2 or not. At first they were saying it was confirmed. Then Todd Phillips has said nothing, no papers have been signed, no meetings have been had.
The future is not written.
Yeah, so, but if they're even fucking around, even toying around with the idea of a sequel, I think it's pretty clear that it happened, and that interview at the end was him, like, in the future. I don't know. But what's your, when you were giving it a 7 initially, I know you said it's probably going to go up. What was the reasons for it being not higher, not being a 9? I mean, a lot of people say it's a 10. Right?
Yeah, I thought like once he puts the Joker outfit on, it seems like it's out of sync with the rest of the movie. Like he's just kind of a different character. It seemed like they had rewrites or reshoots, and they were like, "Yeah, make him more Joker-like." This doesn't fit, so they like reshoot. I don't know. It's I'll bring it up
now.
When it comes up.
Are you talking about towards the end, or like when he actually kills the first people on the subway?
Towards the end, where he's like the music's playing, he's like smoking the cigarette, like he's fucking Joe Cool over here.
So that's not something I thought about when I saw the movie. The way I thought it felt natural to me. If you were kind of like this guy that was on the edge and whatever, you were teetering, isn't there something about it? Maybe if you're totally sane, something about putting on a mask or makeup or something where you can just lose yourself in a totally different character. You know, I imagine if I was in a famous rock band, you think of these guys like Kiss or Slipknot or whatever. If you had issues with like stage fright or, you know, you got the jitters every time you hit the stage, it's got to be easier putting on that mask in Slipknot, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think there is no fucking jitters when you're the guy that's just putting on a dick nose?
Yeah, it's like how I use this character as a defense mechanism.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And you can, you can totally fucking do whatever you want. You probably feel like, okay, I'm this other person. I'm not going to feel, I'll go crazy. I'll fucking stroke my dick nose and I'll do all this stupid shit. I think it does something to you. And I think it's like method acting too. I think what the Joker does or people like that is no different than what a method actor does. Once you put on that fucking makeup, you are that character. It just allows you some kind of freedom and it lifts the ceiling a bit. I don't know. I didn't see the issue like you did.
Yeah, it was probably just like fucking, I don't know, maybe just like, it didn't, it went a little too far too quick. I don't know. I'll see whenever we watch it again.
Well, I mean, he maybe if your issue's too far too quick, fair game, I guess. But I mean, he obviously had to shift though.
Yeah, the movie can only be a certain length.
He had to become empowered. He had to become confident, and I don't know, because it's like we're watching this guy that's all weak and shit, and the whole time, like this whole scene pisses you off, man. Don't you want to snatch that nappy weave?
I thought you were gonna say, "Don't you want to nut in that kid?"
Why would you think that?
Because that's what I was thinking.
But like, why is she so fucking rude? I mean,
because he could be a pedophile. You gotta watch out for your kids. That's the thing. We're all fucking. We gotta fear each other. We gotta fucking live in a fucking closet all the time. Fucking don't come in and fucking ruin my day. I'm just trying to enjoy watching my TV. They're trying to sell me shit. Yeah, it's all that shit.
Okay, so I can kind of understand maybe a parent's concern, maybe, but once you look behind you and he's trying to say, "Oh, he was just looking at me and I was trying to make him laugh," then don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I don't think she is though. She just kind of looks concerned after this.
Well, now because he's doing that fucking shit. I love the card. I think it's a good touch.
I have a condition.
You need to carry around a card, Zach, every time you offend somebody with a baby joke, and just hand him a card and be like, "I have a condition. Yeah. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a nervous. Jokes, it's my nervous tick. Whenever I get nervous, I threaten the innocence of your child." Don't take it seriously.
Exactly. That's what I do need. I need a shirt that fucking says it.
Just walk around it.
I'm not a pedophile. That should be something we sell in the fucking Teespring.
Oh, God. No.
I'm not a pedophile shirt.
No.
It can have a mustache on it.
No.
Be dog.
Ugh.
Does this movie take place in like the 70s?
Yeah, well.
It's kind of ambiguous.
It is ambiguous. It doesn't look as noir, old school like the Burton Batman in '89. Which, by the way, isn't it funny how in Tim Burton's Batman in 1989, they were wearing pinstripe outfits and they were driving cars that looked like they belonged in the 1920s. But then Batman Returns is 3 years later and they just kind of ditched that. Mm. It's like, what happened? That was the most excelled fucking...
I'm only asking, by the way, because it looked like there was an adult theater in the opening. Like there was a marquee that said adult.
Well, look at the cars, bro.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So, I mean...
I never noticed shit like that, though.
You could be driving older cars, modern day, obviously, but so far I haven't seen a newer car. So far I've been seeing like late 70s cars.
Or any cell phones.
Yeah, well, is there any? There's no cell phones, right, at all?
I can't think of any, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a missed opportunity to not cast this in an earlier decade.
So isn't it kind of funny, though, that the fucking best Joker movie they make, they're like, oh, this isn't going to be part of the canon, though. Like fucking the next Batman ain't going to be fighting Joaquin Phoenix.
No, well, you know what's funny is DC, they keep keeping themselves above water. I don't know what they do. They establish universes. They want to keep up with the Joneses. They make a shitty movie. Then all of a sudden, everybody and their mom goes to see Aquaman for some reason, even though nobody saw the movie that Aquaman first appeared in. And people see Wonder Woman, but they don't see the other movies. Then they announce, okay, well, Suicide Squad, Jared Leto's going to have a Joker movie, and Jared Leto's going to play the Joker in a new Suicide Squad. But then they announce Joaquin Joker, his film here. But then they're like, oh, don't get it confused. We're going to have them both going on at the same time. And that's a fucking terrible idea. Then, of course, this gets further along, and they're like, hey, bye, Jared Leto.
And then he started a cult. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just the weirdest fucking thing. So the only way I could appreciate it is just give me a standalone movie, because if you make it part of that shitty canon that they don't even want to follow the rules of, I mean, how could you take it seriously? This movie, I can appreciate a little better, kind of like I appreciate the two Burton movies, because the two Burton movies to me are on a plane. They weren't part of some big grand cinematic universe. It kind of predates all that stuff, and they only made the two movies. I get it. The Batman Forever and the Batman and Robin are technically sequels because you got Alfred there, right? Connecting them, that same act. But fuck it. To me, they're not. To me, the Burtons are standalone. Mm. You can't change everything about all the movies and keep one fucking actor in a very supporting role and you know, call that a thread.
Yeah. The scene's great, by the way. Where he
he's hallucinating?
Yeah.
I wish I had a son like you.
Hell yeah.
Robert De Niro, man, thank goodness they wanted to pay homage to Tarantino. I'm sorry, not Tarantino, fucking Scorsese flicks. Because it seems like him, man, he makes a lot of shit these days. And with him doing this and then The Irishman, granted, it's Scorsese. I'm pretty sure he probably was cast when Scorsese was heavily involved. But anyway, it's good to see him get a bone thrown at him.
I'd like to throw my bone at him.
Yeah. Is it me or what do you think? I get it, you don't like Trump and all that bullshit, but what do you get of his opinions of being very volatile in his criticisms? Like, it almost seems personal. It doesn't seem political at all. He's like, it's almost like
Donald Trump or
him towards Donald Trump. De Niro, you've seen him, like, basically he was on Fox News or CNN saying fuck that guy. He was going past their bleepers.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's like, if I see him again, I'm gonna punch him in the fucking face or whatever. Like, his shit sounds personal. It doesn't even sound political. Like, it makes me believe that they had a run-in or something at some point.
Maybe.
And I was listening to Artie Lang's new podcast, and he made a joke because they were kind of talking about it. He's like, I think he probably fucked some black chick he was into back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Which is funny because Robert De Niro is known for only dating and marrying black women, right?
Hell yeah.
So
they got that ass.
Well, dude, they're not even attractive black chicks.
They got that ass, though.
His taste in women is weird, but I'm not about to knock somebody's taste in women. But anyway, it was funny. But it sounds personal the way he was really going at it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I don't like his politics. I'm gonna fucking kick that guy in the fucking dick when I see him.
Dog. They should have a fight to the death, and whoever wins gets to be the president.
Yeah, this is a funny scene. Did you know this was hallucination right from the get-go? Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, because it shows him zoning out on the couch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Would you suck Joaquin's cock?
No, but I do think I don't think he's overrated. I think he's one of the best actors of this generation, if not the best. He's up there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's slowly become, he's kind of been doing it for the last few years, but I think with a movie like this, and I think he's going to be the next, he's one of those guys like, My Left Foot? What the fuck's that guy?
Not sure.
Daniel Day-Lewis. He's one of those actors where he's not going to act a lot, but he's going to be in high demand. He's not the kind of guy that's going to be in a Nike commercial. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's also been trying to be a Daniel Day-Lewis, where Leo, he doesn't make a movie every year, right? You have these actors like The Rock that put out fucking 5 blockbusters in a year. They never stop working.
Put out garbage. Straight fucking garbage.
They make a certain type of movie. They're making popcorn fluff. But good on them. Make that money, whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, but there's some actors, I think if you're an A-list, you probably have to keep working because your fucking star meter could fluctuate and, times could forget you. But there's like a certain level you hit in the stratosphere where you're solidified, and you're solidified and you don't have to fucking work. And someone like Daniel Day-Lewis is like that. He literally works like once every 7-8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not in a damn thing. He's actually, isn't he the guy, he retired after the Phantom Thread, and he had been talking about retiring for years. And I think every time somebody wants him in a movie, they have to go fucking find him somewhere deep in the woods, and they have to really convince him to work. But I don't know, it becomes a big splash every time he's in a flick, and he's always like Oscar bait and all that shit, and nobody forgets about him. Leo's kind of like that too. He works with a couple of directors, it seems like, these days, and he doesn't do what's his face. That's what they also have in common. Daniel Day-Lewis, Leo DiCaprio, they don't really go on talk show circuits. You never see fucking what's his face do talk shows, but they don't need to.
He gave him a gun.
Yeah, the setup.
Dude,
but how about that scene though where that gun comes into play later when he fucking the midget?
Oh yeah.
And he kills him. He kills that fucking dude, and then he lets that midget out. Dude, they did tension well because you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do, and he actually lets him out.
I would have fucked that midget.
Yeah, you would have had every right.
Oh yeah.
You would have definitely been in the position to abuse that power. Oh, that's the midget, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we have little listeners, we don't mean it. We're just being playful.
Exactly.
Dude, he's got the best Joker. His Joker. How he just shuts it off immediately. I think I don't know. I'm not an actor, so I don't want to like say what's hard and what's not hard. But
My dick.
I think it's a benefit to someone like Joaquin Phoenix or whoever plays the Joker next that people have played him before. Because every time minus Jared Leto, somebody plays Joker.
Yeah, you got to know what not to do. And Jared Leto's a good fucking example.
Well, I'm saying they're all, besides Jared Leto, they're always acclaimed. I think it was probably to the benefit. I mean, I could see how people might think it's not to the benefit. Like, oh my God, everybody love Heath Ledger. You better fucking be careful. But no, I mean, you can build off whatever they did. And like you said, tweak some things. I think it'd be easier to build your own version of it, right? Mm-hmm. With all those reference points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Cesar Romero for the win.
And the script has, like, a lot of it comes from the script, too.
Yeah. This guy, oh, yeah, it starts with the writer. I don't want to forget that. But this guy, they probably left a lot of room open to let him go batshit crazy, though, knowing the kind of actor he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this is the guy that's going to want to really get into it and probably do some improv, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just seems like where did he get that scar from? Because that's like a real scar, right?
I think it's a cleft palate. I think that's one you're born with.
Yeah, it's real.
Like where you're, like the roof of your mouth isn't developed all the way.
Yeah. I guess that's what it looks like.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, but he's interesting. He looks like a weird cat though. Like he's not the type of dude that you'd want to. I don't know if I'd want to hang out with him.
I would fucks with Joaquin,
but doesn't. I don't know. Maybe that's also just the kind of the mystique he wants to put out there. Like maybe if I think it'd be kind of cool if this was the way I was perceived, the way I am in interviews, because he's always really awkward in interviews. But you know, a lot of people think it's just sort of a play I put on.
He did that fucking Andy Kaufman like movie where he was like rapping. It's like
I'm Not Here or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, and he was playing a character that whole movie, like go around.
Yeah. So, but I think it'd be cool if I was just a normal guy that liked to joke and just be lighthearted about whatever and hang out and chill. I think it would be cool that this was the impression I gave the greater public.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's not I don't know, man. He's not the kind of guy maybe you want to go up to. that'd be nice. The Rock, though, that guy's always fucking smiling and he's always so nice and grateful. Everybody comes up to that guy for pictures.
Those are the people you got to watch out for. Nobody's that happy all the time.
I mean, I guess if you're Dwayne Johnson, dude, the guy can't lose. Maybe if anybody's happy all the time, it's him.
That guy is gonna fucking beat the shit out of you, fuck your kid, fuck your wife, and then make a movie about it.
He's gonna go Chris Benoit.
Yeah. It'll be in the next fucking Fast and Furious sequel.
What do you think about what they did with the whole arc between him and this chick?
This is good, yeah.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah, you see him be fucking cringy, and it's like, dude, you're blowing it already.
Well, it's great though. No, it's great because I wasn't entirely sure, but you know, watching the movie, I'm like, man, they sure bonded really quick, and she's already at his house, they're already going out, you know, and of course at the end it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay.
I was like, oh, he got lucky. That's fucking good for him. And then,
but not just lucky. It seems like a day later he's in the hospital showing him support all night with his mother. I'm like, man, they're really fucking close, real fucking fast. Mm-hmm. But no, it makes perfect sense by the time you get to the end of it or whatever. He's fucking just a whack job. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you think the incels were betrayed when they saw him bonding with a woman till they got to the ending?
How disappointed were you knowing this is your favorite genre of porn that he didn't fucking slam that mom meat?
Hell yeah, fucking close your eyes and turn her back into the young maid from American Horror Story.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, she was hot in the young maid.
And just fuck the shit out of your mom if she looks like that young maid.
Mommy's flower water. Mommy's flower water. Ew. Just pan down. We almost see those tits.
Yeah, fucking move that damn fucking bathroom stall there. Or that.
Look at him. He's purposely bending over. He's got a full view of those tits to where he was hanging. I don't know. That
means he's hard as a fucking rock. He probably wasn't even setting on anything. He's probably just propped his cock and was setting on his cock.
It kind of also and if the I don't know what you call this in writing, but you know, where they tease you with the twist and they yank it back, you know, because it's like whenever there's like a revealing twist that seems too easy in the middle of the movie, you can be damn guaranteed that by the end of it they're going to take it back. It's like a fake out. If it's too easy, like the whole thing of him being Thomas Wayne's son, they got to do the reversal and fake him out and be like, no, you're just, your mom's fucking crazy. You know, you're nothing. I love it when they do that. And it reminds me of, I finally watched Blade Runner 2049 last night.
Hell yeah. What'd you think of that?
I loved it. Better than the first one. Come at me.
See, why don't you fucking trust me when I tell you this shit?
Look, come at me, bro. Anybody that gets mad at me saying it's better than the original, but it is. So they kind of do that in that movie too, where they kind of give you
hard as a rock right now, by the way.
Yeah. They give you the twist kind of in the middle where it's like, oh my gosh, you're the half-breed, Ryan Gosling. I'm like, that seems too easy. And of course, they kind of do the same thing where at the end, you know, it's not you. Everybody wants to think that's them, and it's somebody else, right? But that movie was something else. I wasn't sure towards the middle end. I'm like, you know, this is an easy 8, but by the end of it, I'm like, dude, the cinematography in this is a fucking star of itself. And it's a 9 for me. It's a 9. It's so fucking beautiful. And it's one of those movies that doesn't have dialogue that overstays its welcome. A lot of quiet scenes, a lot of no talking, but exactly where it needs to not be there. And it just lets the fucking visuals just breathe. It was really good. And I usually don't like Ryan Gosling.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really, but the movie was good without him. And is it me or does he do a lot of roles where he doesn't talk a lot?
That's probably the best for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in Drive is a good flick too, but he says like 2 words in that damn movie. In this movie, he says probably the least of anybody. He's and I guess that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
The less spoken is usually the better. But
I totally felt like I could really identify with him when he's in that fucking trench coat looking at the schoolyard though. I do that a lot.
I'll say this too. It did not feel like its runtime.
Mm-hmm.
For a movie that was relatively kind of slowish in pace, it wasn't super action packed. Felt like it had a little more action than the first one, but overall it was a very slow ride. It didn't feel like
I felt like this is what people say the first one is, but the first one isn't that for me.
This one was it had a clock time of like 2 hours and 48 minutes with credits.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably wasn't 2 hours and 48 minutes, but it didn't feel like it. I want to like the first one better, of course, because I still think the first one's beautiful too. I like the aesthetic. It's more greasy. It's more noirish, you know, but it's just missing something. I don't know what it is. Harrison Ford.
Entertainment.
Harrison Ford felt like he was given more of a shit in this one than he did in the first one.
Yeah, they should have, like, when I was watching it, I thought that was a big mistake, even like letting people know he was in it. Like, that would have been so much better if that was a surprise. And like, especially if you went to see him, like, to me, the movie didn't get any better when he showed up. It was just like, oh, he's here now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the surprise would have been spoiled really early on because they mentioned him by name a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see him till the last hour.
Yeah.
And I had already seen the trailer because they threw him in the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's what they shouldn't have done. That is what I'm saying.
They shouldn't have did it. And because they threw him in the trailers of them meeting, I knew exactly when we were going to meet him. Because once he got to Las Vegas, the dystopian Vegas, I'm like, okay, well, we're about to meet him. And then when he's like sneaking through the old casino hotel, I'm like, okay, well, clearly this is where fucking old crazy Harrison Ford has been hiding out and living. Yeah, it kind of ruined that a little bit, I guess. It would have been extra cool. But the way Harrison Ford has been, he seems like he hates acting. I think he said from day one, I never really wanted to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I kind of did it for money to help support something else. And he just, you know, you hear all these stories about actors that just would give anything, give their left nut to break it big. And this guy fucking just acted like, and then he breaks it big, like, holy shit. And he acts like Star Wars is the biggest burden hanging around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he doesn't act very much. And they pulled him out to do that Star Wars movie at the condition that you fucking kill me off now. And he didn't fucking give a shit. He phoned in that whole fucking performance. It was like, I really don't want to be here. So I thought we were going to get that for this movie too. But yeah, I felt like he was pretty convincing.
Hey, Aaron, let me tell you something. People expect you to behave as if you don't. Think about it. That's deep shit.
Yeah, I get it.
You think about that. Linger on that while I go grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Grab a drink.
Talk about this hot piece of ass getting ready to fuck the shit out of fucking Joaquin.
All right, go grab your drink. I like the casting for her. I think it's great. I like regular looking people. I'm not saying she's not pretty or anything like that, but I'm really happy they didn't put like Zendaya or some supermodel in here. You know, she's believable. She's believable girl next door in your apartment that you maybe have a crush on, right?
Did you linger on that one for a while?
I did. I was talking about the actress here, and I'm not saying she's not attractive or pretty, but I'm glad they didn't put like a supermodel in here because she doesn't look like a supermodel to me. She looks very believable that because she could be the cute girl next door that you might have a crush on, right?
Oh yeah,
I dig that. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix ain't no prize, right?
Oh, Joaquin's he's a hunk of a man.
Hey, Patch Adams, man. This is
Look
a
at that
rip-off.
fucking Chad jawline on Joaquin.
Yeah.
Got a Chad jawline.
I watched a lot of movies in this last week. I was getting caught up on shit. What else did I fucking watch? I watched Adrian Mendoza's gonna be happy. I don't know how much I want to talk about it because it's definitely cinema enema worthy, I think. But I finally watched The Crying Game.
Dog.
And
it's on my watch list too.
Yeah, I mean, so
I love this. I love that he brought the
Yeah.
gun. And he tried, it was a prop. That's fucking genius.
But I like how even the adults just like not saying anything.
I didn't even think the adult noticed. I thought the kids only noticed.
Well, the adult like embraced the kid, like held him back, like, oh my word. But no, The Crying Game. It as a movie, as a narrative, it's a good flick. So I could only imagine in 1992, I had to try and transport myself. Like, okay, how would I have reacted to this in 92, not knowing the twist? Because now it's such a huge part of pop culture. You know, like you even said, people just know about the twist before you even ever see the movie. It's like Luke, I am your father. We all fucking know that, right? It's not even, I don't know. People probably don't even realize it was a twist at this point. Or the twist where Terminator 2, the Terminator was a good guy. That whole twist. Or the bad guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I will say this. If you're going to watch it for the first time, Zach, even though you know that big twist, the way to get enjoyment out of it is watch it with someone that maybe doesn't know. And at least you could experience it with them. Because that's what I did. And even then, in 1992, because this is like I think it's an Irish film. It's Irish film because it's about the struggles in Ireland that they were having. And it takes place in the UK and in Ireland. But I think it's an Irish production. But anyway, in 1992, dude, fucking in America, it wasn't super, super acceptable to be, you know, gay or whatever. And especially in Europe, it wasn't. So the fact that they made a movie where they had, you know, the topic that we're not talking about, just in case somebody hasn't seen it, is pretty intense. So it would have been more of a what the fuck thing in 92. 100%. But even like, so I think the person I watched it with, they probably would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Now, since it's the year 2020, they were still just as shocked, but it was more like laughing, like, oh my fucking God, you know, one of those things. But it was a good flick. You should watch it, man. And let me know. You should watch it and let me know if it's worthy of a cinema enema. And I'll even do it for my choice if you want.
Dog. Oh yeah, this is a scene where all the shit hits the fan.
Oh yeah, this is where he yeah. But look, are people really this dickish? And have you ever met these kind of bullies that are grown men? They just, you know what I mean? Like, isn't this something you leave in the grade school playground?
I don't know. I never hang out with these people.
They kind of look like they're fresh out of college, so maybe they got that frat boy mentality still, but I don't know. I've never come across these kind of dick bags that look like they work at, you know, Wall Street. I don't know.
You hang out with a lot of Wall Street dick bags?
No, they need to be, I guess they need to be in Hero. I also watched Skyscraper, that Dwayne Johnson movie, speaking of him. It was what you'd expect.
Stupid.
You know, have you ever seen it?
No.
I remember everybody was talking and touting it as a Die Hard ripoff, but that they were obviously acknowledging, yeah, we're paying homage to Die Hard. It's basically Die Hard with a paraplegic. No, I'm sorry, with an amputee. He's missing a leg. They had to throw in that little plot, you know, device in there. Oh, he's missing a leg, and it's got a lot of ridiculous shit. Like they build the tallest skyscraper in history in Hong Kong. It's even bigger than the one in Dubai.
And a fucking creepy boy scours it.
Look, well, he lost his leg while on the job in the FBI.
That's fucking terrible that I say Crippy Boy so easily. Like it's just a part of my normal fucking vocabulary on the show.
They hire this guy, and it kind of turns into like a Die Hard situation where there's a bunch of terrorists that come in, blah 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 blah. Anyway, the whole movie he's doing absolutely asinine shit. Like, the building catches fire, and it's the tallest skyscraper in history. It's really fucking massive, and there just so happens to be a giant crane that goes at least halfway to the building. This motherfucker with one leg, Dwayne Johnson, climbs a fucking crane while the cops and helicopters are after him, and he doesn't tire out. And then when he gets to the top of the crane, he fucking jumps from that crane to the fucking building, like what looks like 200 feet. It's just over the top nonsense.
He might as well fly on the mighty crane.
And it's got Neve Campbell and his wife. Like, where's Neve Campbell been?
Donk. She hot?
No, I think they're an odd couple. No, I never thought she was really pretty. I watched Event Horizon fully for the first time.
Never seen that.
Well, it's one of those movies I've seen, not seen. Like, I've tried watching it, didn't make it through it, tried watching it kind of in and out. So I consider it, I really haven't seen it, but I actually sat and watched it, and it was solid. I gave it like a 3.5. It's clearly flawed, and it's obviously derivative of a few obvious things, but they did something cool with it.
Hellraiser in Space, before Hellraiser in Space.
No, it wasn't before Hellraiser in Space. This movie came out in 97.
Was that before Hellraiser 4?
I want to say it was probably around the same. Let me see. Hellraiser. It was Bloodline. Bloodline was 96. So a year before. But regardless, I already knew the ending. I already knew the twist. I already knew all the shit. But like, I feel like the idea was better than the execution, but it looked cool. It looked like a 90s movie. It had that 90s cheese. It had that cheesy 90s CGI that was really prevalent in 94 to 97,
Dates the movie right away.
Absolutely. Everything about it dates. Even some of the cast in it, it's like it feels dated. How Hollywood is. Like, if most actors, if they make it any sort of in the mainstream, they're relevant for a few years. It's like when you saw Matthew Lillard in movies like for 5 years after Scream.
Oh right? Yeah, Matthew Lillard's the man.
But this movie has a couple of those guys in it. Like, oh, this instantly dates to Flick 2 because this guy blew up from Something About Mary. And so he obviously got work for 3 years after that and then fucking tapped out. And nobody called him again. But it's good, though. I love Sam Neill. I wish Sam Neill worked more. He's somebody I'm surprised is not A-list. After doing fucking Jurassic Park, I mean, he's not. What did I see him in last? I follow him on Instagram, and he's always doing little movies and projects here and there. Last time I saw him in a theater was Escape Plan of all things, right? That Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone movie, and he played the hospital doctor. He not even a main part, and it's kind of a shame because it's like he's really good.
Oh yeah, would you fucking let Sam Neill on your fucking face while you jack off? You mean Sam Neill in front of me? Either.
Okay, no.
You can sit on my face. I'll clear a seat for him.
He's going to be in the upcoming Jurassic World, though. They're bringing the entire Jurassic Park family together.
Still don't watch the second Jurassic World.
I watched the first one, didn't care for it. I don't remember much about it. Yeah, I was definitely in and out of that one.
Me neither, yeah.
I kind of want to give it another shot because I picked up the second one on Black Friday for the 4K for like $4 at Walmart. I'm like, fuck it, $4. We'll give it a go. I'll buy almost any 4K for $4 minus,
Oh, look at that. That's some Chad shit right there.
Yeah, this is the moment where it's like, that's delusional, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense because he became empowered when he did what he did, right?
It kind of implies that he never even really spoke to her. Like she seems really fucking like, oh, aren't you that guy that lives over there? Like all of it might have been delusional. Like, fucking, yeah, it's hard telling.
So I might.
Maybe he did the fucking, the taxi driver thing, and that was real. Fucking gun thing.
Yeah. See, I think Taxi Driver is probably a perfect 10. I've always considered that a 10.
Yeah, see, I've seen that movie once, and it's been a while. I need to watch it again.
It's a great flick. I think it's the quintessential, like, greasy 70s New York movie that just portrays, the way it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I fucking... Oh, did we talk about Uncut Gems?
I did. Not since you watched it.
I watched that on Christmas night.
Saw it in the theater.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. I think it's one of those ones that could grow in score, because I was definitely thinking about it after I left, and I was like, and even the next day I'm like, I was appreciating things about it more after the fact. So like when I watched it, what did I end up giving it? I can actually look what I gave it initially. I gave it a 3.5 stars, so 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
When I initially watched it, my criticisms were it's a little long. Like, I feel like they could have shaved off 15, 20 minutes because, for example, he gets visits from those guys a lot. Like, I get the point. He owes them money, right? It seemed a little excessive. And then they had that red herring of that wiener collector, that really meant nothing. You kind of thought maybe he was going to be the guy that, maybe does something bad to him at the end, right? Because you're not seeing it coming. But literally nothing happened to that guy. But after I sat on it and marinated for a while, I'm like, you know what? Maybe all of that excessive shit that I felt could have been trimmed is what helped make it so nerve-wracking and claustrophobic, because it does. The movie makes you feel like a nervous wreck, like him, because it puts you right in his seat. And I think it's supposed to be just that fucking in your face. Because doesn't Adam Sandler yell in the whole fucking movie?
Maybe.
Like, I don't think there's one moment where he has dialogue where he's calm. Mm-hmm. It's all like, the whole fucking movie, he's like fucking stressed to the nines, and it stresses you out. And the fucking ending elevated at least a star, because the ending was a great finale.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is you knew it was coming. Like, there's no way a movie like this was going to end without the way it ended, right? With his character. Now, but at the same time, it still somehow shocked me, like, how they pulled it off, just with the way it was cool.
Exactly.
He was I don't want to give too many spoilers, man, but I kind of feel like he was a fucking moron. Like, why would he have let them out of the little glass prison outside of his office? If I would have won all that money, I would have been like, okay, I would have realized that at least some of these guys, they're going to be pretty pissed at me, or I've put myself in a compromised situation because, that fucking, that goon, he knew the girl had the money. He knew where the girl was in Vegas. And, he had access to this guy's shop, which was usually on lockdown with bulletproof glass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, we can have it all. Fuck the guy we're working for. We can send somebody to get the girl, and we could fucking take everything the guy's got. And if he won that much money, I would have been like, hey, okay, I know you guys are pissed. I'm going to call the cops though. And I'm going to have them kind of like escort you out, or like be here when I open this fucking bulletproof glass, I don't know. He wasn't thinking rationally.
I think he got so used to his because one of the guys in the group was his family. So he thought, oh, he'll never let them fucking take it too far.
Well, yeah. Well,
like, I could just kind of push them around.
Well, and that's what made it so surprising to the viewer too, because the whole time they're working for him. But like I said, at that point, they're like, well, fuck this guy we're working for. We got more money right here. He told us where that fucking girl is, and we got all these jewels. Let's just kill this panty waste, right? Mm-hmm. Talking about the guy they're working for. So I guess that's what, you don't really see coming. But still, man, I don't know. But maybe that's the way a gambling addict is. They don't think rationally. They're super flighty, the way everything about, I mean, that's the way gambling is. Like, you don't really think about what you're doing. You just want to go big, and you fucking make hasty decisions. So I guess it was par for the course for his character.
I found out why they had to set it in the timeline they set it too.
Why? Yeah, because
you have to for that Furby jewel. That was fucking dank. The Furby, remember that?
Well, and maybe Kevin Garnett too. I mean, they could have, which he's surprisingly a good actor.
I called him Kevin Durant or something, a different basketball player.
Yeah. When I saw Kevin Garnett in the movie, I'm like, this isn't who he said it was. But
they got the same name.
But yeah, I what were you saying again about the movie? I fucking lost myself with it. You're Kevin Garrett. The timeline. So Yeah, they could have easily changed it. I have no idea because they could have made it a more modern ball player.
I just told you that Furby. It's dang shit. You got to have the Furby in your movie.
Okay, they could have updated that. Well, the Furby wasn't relevant in 2005. Was it? Wait, it wasn't 2005. It was 2012.
Yeah.
It was only like fucking 7 years. I'm like, what the hell? This movie could have existed in 2019 or 2020 or whatever.
When the movie ended, though, did it leave you with the thought, like, you know what's sad is if that wouldn't have happened at the end, he probably would have ended up in the same exact boat. He probably would have just used that debt to pay it to fucking create more debts. Or something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He would have made some excuse not to pay him.
Yeah.
Right?
He would have bought like another nice fucking watch that he would have to be given to somebody as collateral.
Yeah, it was pretty. Oh, another thing too. Like, okay, we were talking about the year. They even I could almost explain it or justify it if they got like a musician in there that agreed to do the movie, but he was relevant back then. But Future's still hot. But now they're just like, oh, we got this up and coming guy, Future. Like, just call it Future now, 2019.
Yeah, Future.
You know, or
he's from the future. They had to fucking use Future so that they could make the movie in the past and he would still be relevant in the future.
I definitely want to watch it again, though.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to watch it again. I don't know if I want to drop $25 on a 4K as soon as it comes out before I'm
getting it right away. I don't know if I'll watch it a lot, though, because it is kind of nerve-wracking.
It makes you want a fucking paper bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
See, he could have fucking played this off, kept this going, just do an Andy Kaufman type of thing. Like, yeah, I'm awkward and I'm choking up here, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh, I also said after seeing Uncut Gems when I texted you, I think it might have been a better watch at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those movies I want to sit in a room in the dark by myself and feel that. You know, it's a little long for a theater movie. At least that kind of flick was. I just think I would have liked it better in my own time. So yeah, I can't wait to watch it again.
Everything's always probably better in the fucking at home now. You could just pause it and go take a piss.
Oh, and then, yeah, pause it, take a piss. I can watch it on an actual 4K screen. And the biggest thing that irks me about theaters is the lighting. The lighting in theaters looks fucked up. You go half the movies you go see, they got it so dim that when it comes to a nighttime scene, you can't see what's going on. Oh. Like, fuck my life. If there's a scene in the woods at night and it involves a chase of some sort, you can't see a damn thing. And I watched something fairly recently where that was the case, and I can't remember what it was. And it was in the woods, and it was some like high intense chase thing going on, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was just pitch black. And I don't know why they do that, but the viewing experience is way better at home.
Mm-hmm.
Especially most people have sound systems, like cool setups, man. I need to get a cool setup. I don't have anything. I had a sound bar and I never got it to work, and for some reason I never returned it.
Dog. I want to get one just to fucking, like, it'd be just because you can like set your iPod on it and just fucking be laying in bed. Like, I want to listen to music now and I don't want to get up.
Yeah. But yeah, so looking forward to that. I wish Voodoo still shared shit. I would just mooch off it, yours when you got it. But
it does every once in a while. It's fucking really selective.
Does it really still do it?
Yeah.
When's the last time something shared?
There's one I remember. You guys said shared.
It's
a while back.
Well, I'm gonna look at it actually because.
Oh yeah, we could mention I finally bought my guitar and it hasn't been shipped yet. Like I bought it fucking Christmas Eve night, and guy didn't ship it yet. I've tried asking him like, hey, did you change your mind? You still want to sell this? And he's not answering me. And tomorrow is like the date. Like, oh yeah, it'll fucking after tomorrow. It'll, you can say it's not here, and then they'll fucking contact him, and I'll probably end up getting my money back because he's not fucking responding to me.
Well, you texted me.
Yeah.
You texted me about that, and I'm like, yeah, I told you. I'm like, well, they get 3 days, and the holidays, I mean, it's going to slow some things down. It's very possible That could be these days and age where everybody has a fucking cell phone on them. It's not a good excuse not to return a message, holidays or not.
The guy is fucking pissing me off. I'm convinced he's mad that it sold as cheap as it did. And now he doesn't want to fucking sell it, and he's not telling me because if he just doesn't say anything, maybe I won't leave him bad feedback because I'll think he died or something after he put it up for auction.
What's the street value on it, like used, what you bought? What did you get it for, and what does it go for? Like, how good of a deal did you get?
I thought I got a good one, but people keep fucking trying to get brand new prices for it or just like shave off like $200. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, so how much of a deal do you think you got? You don't have to tell me what you paid, but like, how much did you save, you think, by getting this deal? Instead of going somewhere else for a used one.
It's usually $1,300, and I got it for like $7 something. But then the shipping was fucking over $100. So like right away, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm giving you that good dank ass shipping." It's like, you didn't give me any shipping, bitch.
Yeah,
fuck boy.
Well, hey, for a guitar, $100, whatever. So you said $1,300. That's for new or used?
For brand new.
I think that's a fair deal. I mean, what can this guy expect? There's only certain types of instruments that retain their value, and it's like fucking top of the fucking heap, right? If you're somewhere in the middle, I mean, that shit's always going to lose value unless it's like vintage or something.
He put in two pickups though, one that's in the sound hole, one that's in the nut or the what's it called, the saddle, and he's like, yeah, this makes it like you're getting makes it worth more money.
How do you feel about buying something used with somebody's mods on it? Like, maybe how do you know you'll like those mods?
If I don't, I just won't fucking plug it in like that. I just won't.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just for the electric side of it. Well, like I said, you're protected. I mean, it would suck if you don't get the guitar, but I mean, you're guaranteed to get your money back. I mean, like I said, because eBay will contact him and they'll give him like a couple of days to respond. If not, PayPal.
And that's the thing too. This guy, see, I don't buy a lot of stuff on there. So like, I've saved up fucking months for this, like almost $900 with the shipping and everything. And I don't even know, like, am I going to get the money back? Like, why aren't you responding to me, bitch?
What is the, what's his feedback like? What's his rating? Did you look?
0.
Ooh.
But I got 0 too, because like,
I know
for some fucking reason, the way that works now is like, if you haven't bought anything in like 12 months or sold anything, it just goes back to 0.
Okay. Still though, it doesn't, so he has no feedback. It doesn't like erase the feedback though. It like the comments, does it? It might.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to go off that shit. The thing is if you, do you have a Guitar Center near you?
In Champaign.
Guitar Center, they're like every other big box retailer. Every time there's some kind of fucking holiday, even if it's fucking Flag Day, they run a sale, right? Where it's, 10% off.
Can you talk them down on the price too? I've heard you can.
Not Guitar Center.
Oh.
I don't think you can. Go ahead and try. Maybe. I don't think so. Who knows though? Maybe. Oh, wait. Hold on.
I've heard you can on the internet.
Hold on. I want to say I talked mine down. Huh. Yeah. Okay. So I did. I talked down my tailor because the thing is they're working off commission, right? They want that sale. It's just like a car. You fiddle around with it for a while. You act like you want it. Then you kind of act like, okay, maybe I should just go think on it. And they don't want you to leave, right? Because the odds of you coming back and buying something have greatly increased, right? Whenever you leave and have some clarity and think,
Mm-hmm.
So they want to make a sale while you're in there. And I did. I want to say I talked my acoustic down a couple $100 because I want to say mine was $1,500 or something. I don't remember if I paid $1,300 for it or what, but I talked it down a couple $100 and I got them to throw in a bunch of free shit.
Yeah.
And even when I was at the counter and shit, about to pay, I pulled a Harry Dunn or, like Seabass, like, here, put this on there too. I grabbed more shit. I was like, oh yeah, I want that Ernie Ball t-shirt. Can I get this? Like little shit? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. can I get this really nice strap over here? I got like a, because they come with like certain kinds of straps, but like, can I get this fucking, I tried pushing it as far as you can. So definitely play the game if you go that route. And yeah, I got a whole bunch of shit with it. But so if you can go to a Guitar Center and you can get it, let's say $130 off during a sale, right? You can drop that price down to, I don't know, fucking, what would that be? $1170. Let's just call it $1170 or whatever. You don't have to pay shipping. You'll have to pay tax, but you're never going to escape tax. And even if you wanted to buy it online, you're not going to, I don't think you pay shipping if you pay over a certain amount with Guitar Center. And you get like a really big beefy return window if you have any second thoughts, you want to exchange it or whatever. And like I said, you might have some haggle room, and you get the peace of mind that it's not a used instrument. That's just me. That's just me, though. I mean, but you'd be looking at paying a few $100s more. I don't know.
Yeah, but this guy pissed me off. Fucking this motherfucker. You take somebody that's already fucking like, most of the time I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm worried about like this bill that's gonna come out. How am I gonna pay that bill? And then this motherfucker won't even talk to him. Fuck him. I'm gonna flame the shit out of him.
Hey, what kind of kid just lets a strange man put his thumbs inside of his mouth and doesn't back away, doesn't flinch, doesn't do nothing?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh,
you'd be fucking surprised. It's not that hard.
I thought we'd
fucking just rub your hand along their cheek. They give you all the trust in the world.
I thought we'd say something about the movie again, just because. Okay, I'm gonna lift the veil a little bit. Mac and Zach got into another little love scafu, and Mac said, "We don't even talk about the movies anymore." Anyway, I'm like, when is that ever? When have we ever?
Yeah, he put me in a fucking bad mood. I didn't want to bring it up. Like, yeah, like I almost called off recording tonight, and like this is the only night we had, so we might have had to wait a week and not had an episode. But yeah, fucking see, I'm a big proponent of Hanlon's razor. You know what that means? Like, don't attribute fucking malice to that which could be explained away by ignorance. Yep. And so like anytime we're recording. And Max said, like, I don't have an ego, so, like, I never get fucking my feelings hurt. So Mac can, like, make jokes, and we just bounce off each other. But, like, for some reason, if I make a joke, it can always go, like, two ways with Mac. And it just depends on the mood he's in. Now, this joke I made just happened to be like, oh, Mac never talks into his microphone. And it just went down a fucking wormhole, and it did not end well. He got angry. And it was just a joke about him not talking to his fucking microphone. And it's kind of pissing me off because like I said, I do my best to be as charitable to people as I possibly can, especially when doing an episode, like recording a podcast. You're not fucking being real online. So like, yeah, this guy, for a second I was like, hey, maybe he fucking died. Maybe I shouldn't give him bad feedback. But then I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm tired of assuming fucking good intentions on everybody. Fuck that. I'm going to start just fucking pile driving to these people.
Well, maybe he's like some kid. Maybe he's like 17 and it is his first time selling. And he's like, oh, fuck, that isn't.
He's got to learn the fucking hard way.
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to get dinged or something. He's going to have a bad feedback or whatever. And guess what? If this is his first time selling, he'll just say, fuck it. I'll just start a new account. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like, what's a ding? And I'll just do a different account. No big deal. Dings in bad feedback only hurts established people.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll get your money back, man. It's all good. And you'll make up with Mac. So it's funny, though, because these guys, have you doxed yourself and said you guys are cousins, or you don't want to do that?
Yeah, since the beginning we talked about our cousins. Yeah.
Okay, I thought, well, I've said stuff like that, and you're like, no, they're not supposed to know. Okay, so they're cousins. So they're basically like brothers. They grew up together. They've even lived together. So they're almost like brothers. And you know how brothers are. I've witnessed these guys get into more scafus and fucking hissy fit tiffs than anybody. And it always blows over. And it's always
the dumbest shit.
But it's always the same, too. And it's always via IM. It's always via group chat. And it's always the same type of shit. And
again, where you think you would be charitable to everybody, because you can't read sarcasm in text form.
Well,
but he's never charitable to me, this guy.
Well, and I will say it's always Mac that gets bent out of shape. But Zach's kind of always the one that's dishing the shit. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. Part of me's like, what did I say? And I was just like Switzerland and all of it. But every now and again, I was saying, don't feed the troll, Mac. What do you do? You just keep fueling it. Why are you doing this? And like clockwork, he'll delete himself from the fucking forum. He'll take himself out of the group chat and he'll be pissy, until it blows over.
And it always happens after we release like a slew of good episodes where we're talking about the movie, we're on point, everything's perfect, and then like it just kind of happens around that time every time. So every time we record a great episode that I'm proud of, I'm like, oh yeah, the shit's gonna hit the fan.
Well, and it's something. It's always the same. I don't want to record. You guys just go on without me, or like maybe I shouldn't record with you guys anymore. Like he starts doing that stuff, and.
He doubts himself too easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. I think he's a bit soft with it sometimes, but I mean, like me, I've gotten pissed off at you plenty of times, but I just kind of cease communication for a bit. I just drop off. Like it's like,
and I hate talking to people like what, because I get super fucking defensive, and I'm like, I get into like a debate mode where I'm like, I gotta logically present my arguments, and like they're not listening to fucking logic or arguments. They're just like, dude, no, you gotta listen. You hurt my feelings though, and I'm like. It's an emotional thing. And I'm like, why is emotion coming into this? We're fucking guys bitching about movies on the internet.
Okay, so like I said, this is where I maybe see some of Mac's perspective, because you do play hard. I remember we went about, it was kind of what we talked about like last year or whatever, a couple years ago. You got to pick your battles. You got to know who you're talking to. Like if somebody is a little bit more sensitive, like Mac, maybe dial it back, but I think you react to that. You're like, well, I'm going to go harder on this guy. You know what I mean?
don't mean to.
But you
assume
naturally.
It's a joke. I always assume it's a joke, and I don't know why.
I'm only sad we didn't get it on a podcast. It was all like off the air. You can't. No, but that's what it is. You just have to know what triggers certain people, what certain people can take, and what they don't tolerate, and just kind of like walk around. So, do it like that.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, that I'm fucking bipolar.
Everybody says that. Get diagnosed.
I'm pretty sure. I need to fucking. That's another thing too. I was thinking about like, I should go to the doctor. I could talk to him about that fucking shit with the lightheadedness, and like, I've always kind of thought I'm bipolar. It just like. It would make sense if I found out that that's what one of my problems is. And then like fucking, it's like nerve wracking because like I can't just go do that because like, finding out like, I have a condition where I could just lose consciousness, that could fuck me up because they could be like, you can't drive anymore. And like, if I can't drive to work, that fucks me up.
It's not stopping the elderly from not driving. Hey, I gotta step away for 20 seconds and I want to talk to you about the bipolar thing in 20 seconds. I'll be right back. Entertain our devoted audience.
We're gonna entertain you guys. We're gonna fucking see. This is the fucking see. Funny thing, this is where fucking the guy acknowledges his fucking stand-up routine and he shits on him. By the end of the movie, I was convinced this was part of his fucking delusion too. So like, whenever we find out at the end, like, he's really going on the show, I was surprised. And you gotta feel bad for him. He fucking he bombed, and it can't just be left to And nowadays, if you bomb, it's on the fucking internet forever. It can't just be locked in someone's mind. Remember that time? Yeah, people's mind, they're always constantly fucking forgetting things. Like, if it's only locked in their mind, eventually they'll forget it. And it'll morph into something else. It won't be as bad. But now it's fucking recorded forever. And you fucked.
Who's fucked? Me?
Our boy Joaquin.
Oh, okay. Hey, I wanted to say something about the bipolar thing. So, but at what point do you think you feel change? Because I've seen two Zachs, and there's only two Zachs I know. There's the audio Zach, where you're pretty much, there's different layers and levels of audio Zach. Obviously, we've talked about, Mark III Zach, Mark IV, whatever, but it's still just an extension of this Zach. And then I've seen you in person, a la the convention, and you're totally dialed down. But I don't know, like, that seems very calculated. Like, okay, in person, I'm just kind of a, social anxiety type of person, but you're always like this on a podcast. So where does the actual shift in your personality go? Is it Is it a depression thing? Because I've heard people associate when they're bipolar, like, it's weird. Like, people talk about manic depression and bipolar as if they're interchangeable sometimes. So I don't know. Like,
they are. Or manic depression and bipolar are the same thing. It's just been renamed.
Okay, it is. Well, but there's people that have been dubbed bipolar that they lash out anger, like their temper. It's weird. Like, I had an uncle. I still have an uncle. He's bipolar, but his shit gets fucking sick in the head, and he gets rage and violent and abusive. You know, but
it's mostly like, really, you get depressed, and sometimes you're overly happy and like overly optimistic, but then like fucking really depressed for like 2 weeks. It's fucking, it's like, yeah, everything's going good, and then all of a sudden your brain's like, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna stop producing serotonin, bitch. Deal with that.
It's also one of those conditions that people throw around really loosely. Right. Everybody thinks they're bipolar, but I mean, obviously I'm not speaking for you, but do you think you get angry ever?
I kind of get angry when people misinterpret my intentions. Like when Mac was like, but that your jokes aren't jokes anymore, man.
Well, that seems more reactionary. That's like a natural I'm trying to relate to Mac here, because when you were in Mark fucking 5 Zach or whatever, Troll Zach, a couple years back, a couple Halloweens ago, I would have agreed with Mac with what you were doing, because it's like, they weren't jokes. It was just like, dude, you're just fucking twisting nipples now. You're just really trying to like pour salt on shit. So it just depends.
They're always jokes.
But yeah, I think it's a difference of who's laughing at the jokes. Maybe they're just for you at the time. But I don't know. Maybe if you guys would have had this little blow up on a podcast, the audience would have laughed too. I don't fucking know. But what's funny is he brought up the famous don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. What was that?
Yeah, and he kind of fucked up. He's like, yeah, you guys do all these shitty movies, and we couldn't even do mine because we had to stop it. And I was like, we had to stop it because you left. And as if he remembered that. He's like, oh yeah, dude, you were being a dick the whole time though.
That was brutal. I got to side with Mac on that one. I was there. Was that a Mac and Zach episode, or was that a BTM?
That was Mac and Zach.
Which, by the way, it's only fair that sees the light of day. If you guys posted my Halloween 5.
I think I deleted my part of it because I didn't want to fuck with it.
How is that fair? My Halloween 5 was exposed. But that was terrible. Like, it was, you were going pretty fucking hard on him, man.
As far as I remember, I was just shitting on the movie. He doesn't like it when I shit on the movie now for some reason. And if I'm shitting on a movie, I'm just doing it because it's something to say. Like it basically means I don't know what to say.
Shitting on the movie's one thing, but I don't think you're ever, when you're in that zone, it's never. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I make like really stupid meme jokes, like, oh yeah, Mac has a small IQ, that's why he likes this shitty movie.
Yeah, stuff
it's
like that.
It's always meme jokes, but he doesn't he can't meme or something because he doesn't seem to realize they're memes. Like he's never heard the low IQ meme.
Yeah,
come on, man.
I don't know
the fucking Trump meme.
But anyway, it'll by the time this is uploaded, I'm pretty sure Mac will be back in the fold and it'll be fine. You know.
See, this is a great scene because this motherfucker, it's written as if like it makes him seem like, oh yeah, he's not such a. It's kind of weird that they went like this. Oh yeah, the rich people are the bad guys in this movie because in a way it's like, okay, why is he such a dick? Because he's coming to him telling him like, yeah, you're my dad, right? And he reacts as if like, oh yeah, it's as if he knows that he just found this out recently rather than he grew up believing this. Because you'd think if he grew up believing this, he'd have more fucking tact about the way he's getting ready to say this.
I think they were kind of keeping it open-ended because they aren't conclusive on whether or not Thomas Wayne's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Right? Aren't they kind of keeping it ambiguous?
But if he's lying, it makes him seem even worse.
Well, yeah, like maybe it was a problem. They kind of make it inconclusive. Like maybe he had a problem with her and he really did knock up the crazy chick and he's just, playing that card like she's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I'm saying it's kind of usual to play off like the hero's father as a bad guy in a movie.
Yeah. Especially Thomas Wayne. Has Thomas Wayne ever been portrayed as being an asshole?
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been. You always just hear about Bruce Wayne talking about him.
Yeah, but like this is like from the standpoint of the poor people. Like rich people always seem like assholes that don't know.
Yeah. I know. I feel you. Hey, I have something to contribute about. So I really think we need to like do some stuff with Mac because he was really gung ho about doing new stuff and especially incorporating streaming. And this has been going on a few weeks. And I was like, I'm game. I think we just need to all coordinate. As long as we can find a time that works for everybody, we can sort of put that in the schedule and make it a recurring thing. As long as we can get on the same page, I'm 100% game with that because we've been saying forever that we need to like do more streaming and stuff, especially if, Mac's willing to play games. He's I'll join in. It's fine. I think we should try and like cater to a little bit of what he wants to do.
I want to, yeah. My fucking internet's still doing this shit where every like weekend or at some point in the week, it just fucking decides that my upload speed is gonna go to fucking like underneath 1 megabit a second or whatever it is.
Yeah, make a call. But how long does it usually take for this shit to blow over? What's the longest you and Mac have been mad at each other?
I don't fucking know.
So whenever he comes back around, we should make that offer. Be like, hey, we should figure out a day. He works different hours. He keeps and we're all different time zones. So because I think he made that a point too when you guys were talking like, oh, you go do your 500 million shows you guys do, and you guys always record. Like it almost felt like he was excluded or something. And that makes me feel bad, but it's not that. It's like not at all. It's just the fact that he is typically off late nights.
He's the hardest one to get synced with on schedule
because he works late nights, so he's getting off later, and he makes more plans with like friends and people that come over and game with, right? So sometimes stuff's and he's got the kid thing doesn't usually. I don't think it usually comes in the way or whatever, but he's got stuff, and it's not like we don't want to include him. It's just that we make time to do this show once a week. We make that commitment and we do it.
Yeah, that's another thing that comes up with my bipolar or what I think is I'll fucking get in a bad mood when it's time to do things I enjoy doing for no reason. And then I'll have to fucking psych myself out of it. Like, what the fuck? You like doing this. Why the fuck are you in a bad mood all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it. But yeah, we're talking about mental health on a movie about mental health. So it all works out.
Yes. That was totally unintentional.
Exactly.
But it does work out. But anyway, like I said, I don't want anybody to feel like they're not included. I would love for Mac. I would love to do stuff with Mac all the fucking time. And I also feel bad because I know Mac's asked me a million times. You guys are always to go on Mac and Zach. The last time I did, the episode didn't get posted. We just talked about it. But
yeah. I always feel bad when I fucking annoy Mac because he is like a brother to me. And like he always went out of his way to make me feel included.
Well, sometimes
when we were hanging out with his buddies, so I do get fucking depressed by it.
Sometimes I feel like, oh well, if I go on Mac and Zach, that's probably not the best because I do feel like when I'm the third person, where there's 3 people, it does make you react a little differently because you're playing to a crowd now. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed it. Whether we have Josh James on or whether I go on Mac and Zach, and I think if it's just like. I've listened to you guys do Mac and Zach, just you guys, and the chemistry is great. And I feel like when you introduce like a foreign element or whatever that shakes it up, it could cause a little chaos. But it's not really that. I would love to be on Mac and Zach more often or whenever you guys call or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, just like Mac, we've only got so much time. And so it's doing a lot in my power to make time and commit to doing this once a week and then doing I know we didn't do Cinema Enema the last couple of months because of the holidays, but that's coming back next week or whatever. But in Cinema Enema once a week, I can't even fucking do Deep End on a regular fucking basis for goodness sake. So it's just like, I know William Lowry asked us to go on his show. I didn't want to give him an answer because I didn't want to be a liar. I have no time. Where can I find all this extra time? It's really tough. I mean, and Mac's the same way. He's only got so much time, and he's a night owl. He works nights, so he's the kind of guy that stays up till 6 a.m. playing games. If we all had that same schedule, I'm sure he would record fucking every night. But it's just life. I mean, I used to work jobs like Mac, So I get it. He's in a shittier situation because at least I think so. Like, dude, I used to be this guy that was used to working the night shift. And I'm like, oh, I hate doing mornings. The only reason why I hated doing mornings is because I would get thrown the odd morning shift in the mix of what I was used to doing. But now that I'm on like a normal people, like 9 to 5 fucking thing, 8 to 4, dude, I don't want to go back.
I used to work exclusively night jobs, but then like when my dad died, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. Because someday, like, yeah, I'm gonna you lose people, and then someday I'm gonna lose my mom, and be like, oh yeah, fucking, I could have went over there and hung out every once in a while, but I was always asleep during the day.
Yeah, because that's the way it is, man, and I love it. I love the regular 8. I work usually around 8 to 4:30, something like that. You know, it's a little flexible, and I like having the weekends off, and I never had that for years. It's only been in the last 3 years that I've finally worked a straight up 8 to 4:30, 8 to 5 job. I don't work weekends. You know, we don't work holidays. I get paid for holidays. It's like, oh my God, this is like the real work, you know? And people say negative things about, this is funny. Man, this guy's got the upper hand on his grip, and he's letting him get this from him.
I'd just let him take it. I'd be like, fuck it, go ahead.
It's kind of what he does.
I'm like, I'm not paid for this shit. I'm just cleaning up in here.
People have, negative things to say about working for big corporation or whatever, but there's definitely upside to it. I mean, you get regular hours, you get work-life balance. Dude, when I used to work in restaurants, there's no such thing as a work-life balance. Somebody calls in sick, man. You got done working a 15-hour shift, open to close the night before. They're going to call your ass at fucking 7 a.m. to come back in the next day. And
you know what the most soul-crushing thing in the world is?
What?
Working a job you fucking hate for like 12 hours, coming home, falling asleep almost immediately, and then waking up and going and having to do it all over again. And it's fucking worse when you start dreaming that you're at work.
Yep. That always happened to me. So I worked in hospitality for years, like from 16 years old all the way into my, fucking upper 20s or whatever. And that's the way it is, man. They work you like a horse. And
I was always under the impression that everybody gets paid normal for like the standard 9-hour days. But if you work 12 hours, you get overtime for those 3 hours. I always thought that's the way it worked. And I was like, oh, that's fair. But then the way it really works is like, well, fuck this.
Yeah, it's just I believe me, I relate because I've been there, and they work you to the bone, and you don't get working in restaurants or something. If you're a cook or working in retail, man, a lot of times you don't get fucking sick pay. So they work you like a dog, and if you're sick, you feel like you can't stay home because you can't afford it. So you go to work sick, and you get everybody else sick, and people call in. There was times where I worked 4 weeks straight, 5-6 weeks straight, no day off, double shifts. And you become exactly what you just described. You're working from open to close. You're working 12 to 15 hours. You go home, you get 6 hours of sleep because you have to wake up and go right back to work. And
people working at factories where they got to stand in one spot for 12 or 15 straight hours, they should not be making like fucking $14 an hour. Fuck that. Give them at least $20. That is fucking so.
Yeah, I mean, it just
crazy.
It just depends. And the thing is fuck, dude. I mean, have you ever worked in a restaurant?
No, I can't deal with people.
Okay, so I've worked on all ends. I've worked front of the house. I've served. I've done all that stuff, and I've worked back of the house. I worked back of the house, and I was a cook for many years. Dude, you get into a really high, busy place, man. It's just like Hell's Kitchen or like Kitchen Nightmares. Where you got a chef yelling at you, and you got to do callbacks. Everybody's got to work in sync. If somebody fucks up on whatever station there are, the whole fucking shit can crash if you don't have your shit together. And it can get really stressful, man, especially if you deal with anxiety. Dude, can you imagine when it's like rush hour and like the dinner rush, and you're not on your shit, like somebody fucked up somewhere in the assembly line, and you've got like 50 tickets hanging of orders that you have to get to, and then pretty much everything except for the newest 2 are now late and behind, and they keep stacking, and then tickets are fucking falling and shit. Dude, I mean, people freak out if they can't take it. And it sucks. It's like no calm. You start hearing printers for cooking in your sleep for orders coming up and shit like that. And Yeah, stuff like that. It's annoying. But now it's like I work a normal job and I don't take it for granted. I'm blessed. And it is corporation. But you know what? I got benefits now. I get awesome vacation pay. I get to work normal people hours and I have like the best work-life balance. But dude, I work with people that have done almost just this work exclusively. And I think they take it for granted. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, just a handful of years ago, I was living in the shit, man. I was working the same old shit and it was depressed. I worked shitty jobs. I mean, they weren't all shitty. Sometimes if you work at a good enough place, you like the people. And above all, if you have a good boss, that can make or break a shitty job. Mm-hmm. You know, if you work a good boss and you have good people, you can deal with the stress and it's fine. But dude, I've had the shit bosses and I wonder why I don't drink.
It depends on how they let the fucking stress fall on you. Like, if they set it up like, oh yeah, you're going to be fucking like if you're like, yeah, they can make it to where you're depressed if you fuck up and shit like that. Like, you shouldn't do that.
Dude, I had the quintessential, not my first job. My first job was a seasonal gig at a Toys R Us when I was like 15 or 16. So that I don't really count that. It was only 3 months. But my first job, real job after that was working for this Italian restaurant where I worked there for 4 years. I don't know, something like that. And when I got the job there at 16, I was a dishwasher. And then I kicked ass and it was a super busy place. And they made me a cook like fucking 3 months later. And so I was doing that the whole time. And they worked me like a mule, man. I was like 16, 17, 18, 19. I should have been out having fun, but I used to be afraid to say no. I was one of those people. Mm-hmm. Now, thank goodness I shook that off. And now I preach the gospel to people that I find that are like that don't want to tell anybody no. But I learned that people take advantage of that. If you're the guy that never says no, you have that can-do attitude, guess what? They always expected me to say yes, and they took advantage of that, and they never gave me a raise. Mm-hmm. Right?
They like to prey on that.
Middle management, the world of middle management bullshit, they'll prey on that. So I was getting worked to the bone instead of having fun with my friends and having a social life when I was like in my fucking teens, for goodness sakes, going on camping trips and shit like that. I wasn't doing it. There's like all the time. There's parties going on and I was working. I was the guy that was working open to close, open to close, open to close, 4 weeks off without a day off. And I remember they weren't giving me raises like I should have been. I was getting kind of cheated out of that whole thing. So I went to my boss and I said, hey, I want to get a second job. Can I, for the first time ever, I want a fixed schedule like everybody else seems to have. But if you're one of those guys that's younger and you're like, I have an open schedule, I wasn't in school or anything like that, dude, they fucking took advantage of that. And I felt like that made me more valuable, but it really didn't, because I'm working with all these people that have set schedules that are making more money than me. But yet they get to have their schedule. Like, what the fuck? So I went to my boss. His name was Kevin Longley. Fuck that guy. I'll dox him. And I said, hey, man, look, your guys aren't making, you got to give me another raise or I got to get another job. I said, and I told him, I said, hey, I got the second job. I need you guys to give me mornings so I can go work my second job where I can, and they're paying me more. And this motherfucker said, I don't play second fiddle to nobody. And he poked me in the chest. Like, what the motherfuck?
When I was working at a factory, they did that same shit. Like, for some reason, they told you, like, oh, yeah, you can get overtime. But they never told me, like, oh, yeah, overtime is mandatory, though. You got to at least sign up for 1 day of overtime. So one day, this guy comes to me and he's like, you didn't sign up for overtime again. I'm like, oh, I have another job at night. And he's like, I don't care. This is your real job. I'm like, what?
Dude, and the thing was, I wasn't even playing, it was part-time. I wasn't playing second fiddle. I wasn't cutting my hours. I'm like, look, I mean, yeah, I can't work 80 hours a week for you anymore now because you guys aren't paying me. So I need to go to the normal 40 like a human being so I can work this other job that's paying me more. And that was second fiddle. I'm like, bitch, I'm still working for you full time. And as punishment, he docked my hours there. Like, you know, they do that shit. Like, we'll teach them a lesson and they cut my hours down and it wasn't a big deal. I just went full time at the other place. And, but yeah, this guy, dude, I remember one time they worked me to the bone. I was like 6 weeks, no day off. And I'm talking doubles, 70, 80 hours a week. And by the end of it, I was fried. I was fucking just dragging ass. And I'm like, I need a fucking day off. And, I don't remember what it was. The morale was at an all time low because I hated this fucking guy. And I don't remember what it is. The whole place was ran to shit, and I started you can't beat him, join him. I don't remember what I was doing. That was probably against what he wanted us to do, but I was fucking doing it too. And he pulled me aside because, he expected more out of me. And then he asked me like my reasoning of fucking and it wasn't even anything, man. I was working like a fucking slave. And I told him, I said, dude, and this is straight at him. I said, monkey see, monkey do, brother. You know, I fucking look at the example you set. I'm just like, fucking, why not? I'll just fucking do what this motherfucker does all day long. This guy does not practice what he preaches himself. And then he said something, and then he threw it right back in my face. I remember we were on the back smoking dock. He takes his pointer finger and he says, monkey see, monkey do, poking me hard on the chest with every syllable with like angry eyes. And at the time, I don't know why I fucking took that, because I wish I could go back in time, because I think I was like fucking 18 or something. But if like 33-year-old me could go back in time and that motherfucker put his fucking finger on me and laid hands on me, I would have knocked his fucking baby beluga face whale ass out.
I thought you were going to say I went postal. I was
Thorg hungry! Thorg want eat!
and started fucking punching him.
Well, no, you ever think about that? Like things that happened in your past? Like, why did I let that slide?
Exactly.
What, do you ever think about that? I'm like, that fucker laid hands on me. I mean, if I didn't want to fucking knock him out, I could have got the fucker fired and really ruined his life. I could have called corporate and been that guy, but it would have been so sweet back then.
Hell yeah.
So sweet. But no, I would have took it as like, hey, I would have hit him, and I probably would have had something on me. Like, this motherfucker touched me first. And I had a witness, his fucking stooge, like the assistant manager. I mean, like, you saw it. But anyway, I'm getting all like disgruntled just thinking about the shit.
I saw nothing. I'm his stooge.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So maybe we're talking. Okay, I'm trying to relate. Everybody, we're all the working people. So you ever work somewhere and one of your buddies gets promoted to like middle management, like somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, I've never gotten to work with any friends.
Okay. So I worked at the same place. Look how corrupt it was. And he was a cook like us. And he was, you know, whatever. Your guys are all the same. You guys talk the same shit about your boss. You guys vent frustrations about the workplace, vent frustrations about the guy you work for. In this situation, this Kevin Longley guy. And all of a sudden, one of our guys got promoted, and he was now the underling. That guy I was telling you about that was there on the back dock. And this is exactly what led to that, by the way. He was very newly appointed, so we weren't quite adjusted to the transition of him no longer being just one of us, right? And he was on the line cooking with me, and I made an honest comment about how fried I was and my problems of the total double standards and hypocrisy with Kevin and what he was doing and stuff like that. And I thought it was like any other day of us venting frustration, because I always would talk to him. But guess what happened? About 10 minutes later, I get called into the back office. This motherfucker ratted me out.
Fuck that.
Roger Parker. And anyway, I get called in the back office, and I go back there where all this altercation happened, and he's standing right behind the big boss. And I look at him like, you motherfucker, did you just fucking tattle on me? And he's looking at me and he's shaking his head, kind of chuckling under his breath. Like, you fucking stooge. Like, what a sellout. Like anyway, and that's where it came from. And that's where we had that altercation. And so I should have fucking knocked him out too, actually.
Fuck yeah. Just fuck one of them, make the other one watch.
Dude, yeah.
Knowing that, like, it's like the Blair Witch. You don't fucking let him sit in the corner. You made him sit in the corner and watch you, so he knows the fucking pain that's coming up his ass next.
The stories from that back dock, so many stories, whether it was shit like that or getting big black cock swung in a helicopter motion in my face. A lot of experience happened there.
But fucking Joaquin is going full twisted now.
Yeah.
He's fucking ready. He's ready to blaze his dead homie. He's ready to fucking run with the hatchet. He's gonna fucking do it. He's gonna fucking make these guys pay.
Run with the hatchet. And I hear he's got like this weird dislocated shoulder that he just let fly for the movie, right? He used it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, see how his shoulder's weird in his spine?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a real thing. And he just kind of like embraced it, lost all the weight, and just, I don't know, he's just showing it off. See, look at that.
It looks very scoliosis.
Yeah, he's got that weird fucking shoulder. I mean, use it, man.
This is a great scene.
This is one of the best scenes.
See, if I walked in, saw him like that, I'd be like, dude, I want to fuck you so bad. Let's listen to Twisted, blaze it. Let's just fucking, let's put on an ICP record and just fucking you whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
This is Dude, I mean, the whole theater was tense during the scene. It was pretty.
Yeah, this is you don't see this in fucking comic book movies. If you did, I'd watch more of them.
Okay, have we seen this little guy somewhere before? Usually, when you see a midget actor, they usually exploit that midget actor and put him in almost everything. But he's a fresh face to me. Are we going to see more of him?
I don't know.
Is he going to be in the Willow TV show that's coming to Netflix or Disney Plus?
He'll probably get a job like that at some point in his career.
Did you hear about that? The Willow TV show, Disney Plus?
Yeah, I remember hearing something about it.
Is it going to have Val Kilmer in it, I wonder?
I don't know.
I'm into it. I think it could be fun. Disney Plus, it's funny. I still have it, but I haven't really watched anything outside of Simpsons. I don't want to watch The Mandalorian. You know, I
It's fucking laugh.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say something, and I can't recall what it was.
Yeah, The Mandalorian. Everybody's busting their nut over it.
Well, supposedly that's carrying the whole streaming service, but I just can't be bothered with Star Wars. I'm not saying it's bad. It might be all right, but I don't like Star Wars enough to where I'm going to be motivated to fucking actually watch it. Oh, yeah, here it is. This is cool. Dude, he's fucking, I don't remember this. He fucks him up. I don't remember why. I seem to recall him just shooting him, but look at this. He's letting out his frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about him stabbing the eye.
Maybe the Blu-ray version is different too.
Well, I remember him being that bloody, so it must have happened. I remember him sitting there. I got this coming to me on 4K for free.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that story. Got that price match, man. The buy two, get one free 4K sale. And they fucking had two of the 4Ks I just fucking bought, man. The new Rambo and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm like, fuck that, man. I technically, I'm in the return window, and I would have got a third one free, which Joker pre-order is on there, so I want it. And they gave it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that you feel bad for that scared little guy.
Oh, yeah. Fucking, I'd be terrified.
Well, because, I mean, he didn't really do, I don't know. I don't know if he did anything wrong on how much he knew about it or what he could have done to change it, but he looks pretty creepy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had a moment like this with my dad. That whole, it's okay, you can come, it's fine, right? That Tony Perkis thing. Tony loves you. Tony believes in you, right? My boy is packing and flips him around. But I had this moment with my dad one time where he had went on a tirade and started beating the shit out of me and tearing up the fucking place and tearing up all my stuff. And then, have I told this story?
I don't know.
Okay. And then, and then after getting the shit kicked out of me and going on this tirade, he goes into the garage, which was connected to my bedroom in the basement. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks into the garage, he flicks the light switch and he's like, I thought I told you to put a light switch in here. And I didn't. And then he takes I don't know if it's like a painting chair or a lawn. I think it was a lawn. It was a lawn chair. It was just like one of those like plastic lawn chairs. He puts it under the light bulb and he says, change it. And I'm fucking scared, man. He just got done beating the shit out of me. And he all of a sudden like changed his tone, like calm. And so I start walking with trepidation, not knowing what the fuck's going to happen. And I creep up the chair. As soon as I get both my feet on that fucking and he's standing right in front of the chair the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like clearly the guy's like 6'3". He could just put the light bulb in himself and he's right there. But as soon as I get both,
what? Now, this is where I said I got taken out of the movie. You know what it might have been? I remember thinking, man, that's a terrible fucking music choice to pick. Maybe that's what the problem was.
I like it. This is the most famous scene in the movie.
Yeah, the music doesn't fit for me.
Well, and it also kind of maybe dates the movie because this movie's like what, early 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Something like that.
It sounds like some kind of weird jock jam. I guess I don't know, but the movie seems older than this song to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But anyway, man, back to my story to conclude it. As soon as I got both my feet on that chair, he kicked the chair from underneath me. And I knew he was coming. And so
Did you pick it up and go fucking WWF on his fucking head?
No, because I was like fucking 10. And it was a plastic lawn chair. I wouldn't have gotten far with that. This guy was a big bear of a man. Anyway, so he kicks me, and he kicks the fucking chair from underneath me. I fall and hit the pavement because it's a garage, and the light bulb I had in my hand fell on the ground, and I fell on the broken glass. Right? So yeah, but I had one of those moments with the midget, right? Oh, it's okay. Come on. Come here. It's okay. I'm not going to do anything. Actually, the Joker was better because he let him go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see, you ever see midget tossing? I'd like to see how far I could throw a little guy. That's an event, midget tossing. You never heard of it?
No.
That's where Beetlejuice came from on Howard Stern show. That's how I discovered him, because he was involved with midget tossing. And he was a midget that got tossed, and obviously became a whack.
I didn't even know he was a midget.
Beetlejuice, well, I'm sure he qualifies.
I didn't even know he's short. I never really seen him. And
You never seen Beetlejuice?
never seen him standing next to anybody, I guess.
He's a tiny guy with a weird peanut head.
Exactly.
He's got a lot going on with him, but yeah, he's definitely a little guy too. But he's not like a normal midget like that guy that we just saw in the Joker, where he's got the traditional like big head. He's like just weird, but he's tiny. You could throw him.
Does Danny DeVito qualify as a midget?
No, you know what's funny is he barely doesn't make the mark, because he's technically like what, 4'2". I think there's a height requirement to be a midget. Well, dwarfism is something totally. That's an actual. Danny DeVito's just short. He's proportionate though. You know what I mean? And he's not a midget. Let me see. I'm gonna actually Google this for the first time in my life. What constitutes a midget?
Exactly.
Let's see if it actually comes up. What constitutes a millionaire, a misdemeanor, a missing person, but no midget?
Why would you have to look up what constitutes a millionaire? Having $1 million. What the fuck? Fuck me.
Little people of America. What is Yeah, I don't fucking know. But anyway, Danny DeVito's not quite midget height though. I think he's like a little over 4 foot. So he's just a really, really, really short guy.
This is the screenshot they posted it with, like, oh yeah, FBI or U.S. military says watch out for the incels at the screenings of the Joker. This is what the screenshot showed him in this subway with that mask on. So whenever I watched it for the first time, I kind of laughed because I remembered that news article all of a sudden.
Hey, Zach, why don't you say, what do you say to us reading a few comments? I think we got quite a few.
Go ahead, babe.
Go ahead, baby. Let's see here.
Oh, by the way, whenever you watched it for the first time, were you thinking like he was going to show up to the TV set and they were going to be like, we never... did you think that was part of his delusion? I was thinking that.
Yeah. I didn't know if that... I thought he was going to show up in that. Yeah, I was actually surprised. Oh, he really got the phone call.
Yeah.
So in that too, we know the movie's dated because his video didn't go viral. They had like a videotape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody recorded on a camcorder. Is that right?
It was like the equivalent of going viral. They showed it on TV.
The news.
Yeah.
But what did it... But they didn't show what they recorded it with, right? They didn't actually show an audience member recording it?
No.
So I guess they're doing a good... So they technically still kept it pretty ambiguous. Let me see here. We got some nice comments from you guys. I gotta find where the fuck the oldest one was, because there's quite a bit. You guys have been nice to us. When's the last time? Yeah, we put out a few things. Okay. So I'm going to read one from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which we posted a couple of weeks back. This is from Ray's Peace. I don't think you've posted before, Ray's Peace, so thank you. He says, yo, just here to comment about your Friday After Next commentary. As a black fan, LOL, it was extremely cringeworthy, but I've realized everyone seems to be easily offended nowadays, so keep doing y'all. Heart emoji. Oh, and happy holidays. At first, it sounds like he's saying we were cringeworthy, but I think he's maybe talking about the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
we are cringeworthy. We wear it like a badge.
But, because... You know, he said, keep doing y'all, and gave us a heart emoji and said, happy holidays. I don't know. I think he's talking about the movie. Even if you were talking about us.
That's an idea for a shirt, too. Cringy. We just have a shirt that says we're cringy on it.
Even if he was talking about us, I mean, this is the kind of comment I like. Especially if you're going to criticize this. Give us a comment like Ray's Piece. Oh, he did. He was acknowledging that we were talking about, we were reaching out to our African-American demo. Mm-hmm. Because I think the week prior we got some comments. Probably I think Friday brought it out. But anyway, he's like, as a black fan, LOL. So yeah, man, can we add you to the roster? He said he's a black fan. I mean, I don't know if he's, once again, I don't know if he's a fan of us or Friday.
Yeah, we could put like, we could, you know how people like make those promo shots where they show the name of the podcast. We could have his name and we could say, oh, it's cringy. That would look great on a poster.
Well, Ray's Peace, man, we thank you so much for listening. And by all means, if you got any requests you want us to do, feel free to throw them out there. We were happy to do Friday After Next, even though the movie's abysmal. We got to do the second one, though. How do you feel about the second one compared to the first one? We kind of gave our opinions on how we initially thought about it, when it came out, but then we grew to have an appreciation for it. So let us know what you think about that. But thanks for listening and thanks for commenting.
Can I point out the obvious? That joke he had where he's like, knock, knock, who's there? And then he pulls out the gun and pretends to shoot him. That was pretty funny. I would have laughed at that if I saw a comedian do that. That's some good dark humor.
Does he do it on this when he's actually on the show?
He already did it. I was waiting for him to do it. I was like, that's a good one. Joaquin, do that dank ass one though.
Oh, was that what he's doing the stand up? Was that on the video too?
That's when he's in the dressing room earlier in the movie.
Oh, gotcha. Adrian Mendoza commented on Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 featuring Mac. He left a couple of comments. He says, well, we kind of addressed this earlier. Zach kind of disappointed me with the news. He says, will we ever hear the Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead commentary? You bring up this commentary, a bit. He says Zach was Troll 5000 at the start of this commentary, but then he lost some steam. I listened to this commentary while watching this film during the Joe Bob Christmas special. Zach, is there any way? The file is absolutely gone, is what you're saying.
I think it is.
That just means we're going to have to redo it. See, I think that's some shit, personally, Adrian, because, I put out my fucking H5, And I think we should have a mantra, a new rule here. Our mission should be to save everything. Save everything.
Yeah, we can't. Like, I probably would have just deleted the H5 too if me and Mac didn't continue it and finish the movie. But if we would have just been like, fuck this, let's quit too, I probably would have just deleted it then.
So we're going to try our best to always keep shit now. Cause I want to fucking hear that because that was painful. And like I said, I'm forthcoming about my blunder, right? I think it would have been cool. One of those things where wait a year.
See, we really need to fucking have a fucking safe word if I'm being too fucking harsh.
I suggested that once and I want to say you made fun of me for it.
No, we did do it. I just forgot what the fucking safe word was already.
Well, that's a failure of a safe word. You can't forget the safe word. Okay. Well, now that
I think that's when we decided to do it was after that commentary, actually.
But if we establish a safe word on the air like that, and even if we don't tell the people what the safe word is, just the fact that we are going to have a safe word, isn't it going to be obvious what's going on when someone just automatically says peanut butter jelly sandwich out of nowhere with no context? Like, what? Oh, clearly somebody's getting offended. And
yeah, see, the best way for that to work would be not tell them what it is. And then like that way, whenever it's finally said, we could tell this. Okay, yeah, that's the safe word.
I know, but like I said, it's going to be obvious. Like moose knuckle. Like, well, we weren't, what?
Yeah, but if we make it obvious, that'll make it easy to cool off too. Like, so we're not in the moment. So that we're explaining it. And so we have something to talk about after we said it.
Yeah. And then even if like, it did what it was supposed to do, and you were going off, and Mac was like moose knuckle, and then you chilled out, and you just smoothly just kind of went about didn't address it. Then people would address it in the comments, like, "Oh, clearly that was a safe word." Is that we noticed the transition? That would be kind of funny. So what's the safe word?
We'll come up with one, baby.
Oh, so we don't want to tell them. We want to keep it a secret. Fine. If you guys hear anything that's really weird and kind of out of context, you guys can kind of guess amongst yourself if that's the safe word. Maybe we should run some kind of contest. Like if you guys guessed this week's safe word. So Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Adrian, you also said Zach said a lot of crazy stuff in this commentary, but one thing that Zach said that made me laugh out loud was when he asked Aaron if you would lick the Goot's gooch. Steve Gutenberg. You replied back in a serious tone, no, his gooch probably smells. As if that's all that was keeping me, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty funny. Thanks, Omega. You never disappoint us, man. We appreciate you sticking through the thick and thin. When we have our turbulent times, you're always there. So,
You know how your dick has a smell? Like whenever you're taking a shower, sometimes you like touch your dick and smell it to see if it stank.
yeah, I mean, you
It
got
has a distinctive smell. And that reminds me of one time, my friend, the same one that fucked his sister and jacked off the dog.
not surprised.
We were at his house one time, and he went to like eat something, and I said to his little brother, I was like, "Put your dick in his oatmeal. It'll be funny. We'll watch him eat it." And then I was like, "No, don't do it. That wouldn't be cool. But we're gonna pretend like you did, and we're gonna watch his reaction when he comes back." So like, I just like put my finger in it to see if he'd even notice anything was different about it. So he comes back, he doesn't notice, he eats it, and then I go, "Hey, I got your brother to put his dick in there." And then like he got really fucking upset.
Yeah.
And I ended up telling him like, "No, it was just a joke." Like I told him like, "Yeah, we're just gonna tell you. We're gonna see your reaction." And he's like, "Nuh-uh, it's dick flavored. I can smell that fucking dick smell that I always smell every time I'm in the shower."
So
It's like, no, he really didn't. It's all in your mind.
when you put your finger in it, did it leave the finger imprint impression in the oatmeal and he didn't notice it?
Yeah, I made like a little dent so that just in case he noticed.
So that's a fun question. If you found out, if Mac told you that, like, hey, remember 3 months ago when you were eating oatmeal, I stuck my fucking stinky dick, I hadn't showered yet in it, and you ate it, never told you. Would you be mad?
I'd probably be like, I don't know.
3 months ago.
3 months ago, I'm not dead since then, so it'd probably be like, oh, whatever.
But you can no longer say you.
Don't do that again, dude.
But you can no longer say you've never had dick oatmeal.
Exactly.
If it comes up. Okay, so
But that's the thing. I'd be mad because like I would want some money for that. Like if you do it like that, like I basically did it for free. It's one of those things like sometimes you try to jump into the car, like you're just having fun with your friends and you try to get into the car without fucking touching like the seat or anything. So you try to jump into it a certain way and then you end up fucking bashing your head on the top of it.
Yeah.
And then like you're all laughing. You're like, dude, you wouldn't have done that if I gave you like $50, but you just did it for free. Isn't that fucking annoying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And then you're sitting there like, yeah, that is annoying. So yeah, it would have been fucking better. Like I probably wouldn't have fucking ate his dick oatmeal if he offered me $50, but he made me do it for free. That's not cool.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I totally get it. And it's funny though. I think that's a pretty cool attitude to have about it, but I have a feeling if it was the Zach that I witnessed during the weekend of Kansas City Crypticon and I did that, I think you'd be different. I think Zach, your personality is different depending on the atmosphere. If you're on a podcast or if you're in person, and I feel like everything would change. Even your reaction to having my dick in your fucking oatmeal.
I'd be fucking happy. I've always wanted your dick in my oatmeal.
Like I said, you know what's funny though? It isn't just okay when Zach is on a podcast. That's when it changed. We debunked that because when we went on that other show, the
Nightmare
Junkhead. Zach was basically like real Zach, but on a podcast. It was weird. So maybe he has to be on one of his own shows. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I still implore everybody to go out and listen to that just because it's an interesting, you could lift the veil on casual, normal Zach. Anyway, thank you again, Mendoza. We are going to go on to Ishmael Premier. These next comments are going to be from the Star Wars Holiday Special. I meant to ask you the thumbnail. Oh wait,
this scene though.
Oh,
see, I was under the impression I thought he was going to commit suicide, like he was going to end his like stand-up set and then blow his head off, and I was like, that would be epic.
Well, I think he was considering it because wasn't he putting the gun in his mouth and shit?
Yeah, well, that was a good fucking like way to subvert our what we were expecting.
And I think that's. I don't know if does he actually say this in the script? Oh, that's great. I don't know if he says it in the script anywhere, but it's at least he's dancing. It's at least implied that I think he initially meant to kill himself. Like that's going to be my big punchline. But somewhere between that moment and the end moment there, he realized, wait, no, I kind of dig this and I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. This whole last segment of the movie is fucking great. The writing and all the shit, it's really well done. Anyway, I was going to ask you about this Star Wars Holiday Special thumbnail. I can't tell if that's a job from you or if that's actually a screenshot and that fucking Wookiee looks like that.
I liquefied his face a bit and stretched it out. I made him make a smile.
That derpy smile. I couldn't tell because the movie looks that ridiculous. The special rather. Anyway, Ishmael Premu, he says, I'm watching it now, but you guys would do a killer awesome Rush Hour 2 commentary. Just my thoughts. Well, you've landed on request exploitation January, so maybe if he thinks we do a killer job, maybe we should do it. Rush Hour 2 is the best of the trilogy.
I got that movie for Christmas one year, and I watched it, and I liked it a lot. I watched it all the time. And I never even seen the first one.
Really? It's Rush Hour 2 is sequelitis. It's the exact same movie as Rush Hour 1, except they flip-flop it. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a fish out of water story. In the first one, you got Jackie Chan going to L.A., and, you got fucking Chris Tucker saying all those jokes. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? All that stupid shit. And in the second one, they just reverse it. They put Carter in Asia, right? And he's the fish out of water. And they even do the same jokes, right? Jackie Chan does you understand the words that come out of my mouth? I kick your black ass back to Africa. That's when he says that. Like, what the fuck? But it's the same fucking joke. But I'm not always against sequelitis. They actually do it better. The first one's really good too, but the second one's just better. It's like the same fucking shit, but maybe it's just the setting of Hong Kong. I like it's more exciting than in LA. But
it's more, because then we're the fish out of water too.
Yeah. It's I love movies set in Asia. That's why I really liked what the fuck did I just watch that was set in Asia? What did I watch something set in Hong Kong? Oh, fucking the fucking Dwayne Johnson movie. That shit where he's the limbless guy. The fact that it was set in Hong Kong gives it a little bit more something. I get it.
Does he ever fuck somebody with a stump though?
Possibly.
Like those great amputee porns.
That's one of those things where you were talking about making money. I mean, if you're already amputated, you might as well make a buck and get into that, right? Exactly. But yeah, I love shit set in Asia, man. That's why I love the Yakuza game so much. You should play that. And I had so much fun playing Yakuza 0, and then I know there's like 6 other games, and it's daunting because the story's so fucking large. It's like, fuck, I need to take a break. I can't just jump into another one of these. But I eventually do want to play it. I love it, man. Anyway, Ishmael Preview, thank you for saying that. I wouldn't mind doing it. I like it. They're all good, Zach. The first one's really good. The second one's the best by a hair. The third one's the least best, but it's still fucking watchable. Like, they go to Paris. Like, Paris.
I saw the third one for the first time recently.
And it's just okay, right? It's fine. Yeah. It's watchable. But I don't know what it's missing. Because maybe it's because they couldn't do sequelitis this time. Because now they're both fish out of water?
It's missing like a fucking, it's missing by about 5 years when it should have came out.
Yeah.
Like 5 years too late.
Well, and I think we got Rush Hour 4. It's been kind of in development or, being pre-production. I don't think it's actually fucking started yet, but it's been talked about for a couple years now. So by the time that thing comes out, it'll be how many years? A bigger gap. Lethal Weapon 4. Did I read an article of legitimacy that said that was back on again?
Maybe.
Or was it that fucking shitty website that Mac spams?
Oh hell yeah!
But But that's not the kind of thing he would share because he doesn't really talk about Lethal Weapon. I need to look it up, but I always thought another Lethal Weapon needs to happen. Because that's a series where it's totally fine and it works that they're older.
He looks like Tommy Wiseau there.
He wishes. He fucking wishes. Tommy Wiseau wishes. But anyway, if that's true, man, I would love it because I love Lethal Weapon and it's totally fine. Mel Gibson's older, but he can do fucking gritty and gruff really well, and he's done that in his latter years. So he could still pull it off. And Murtaugh's still alive. I don't know if they're going to get fucking Leo Getz out of retirement again. He did The Irishman, but I don't know. Let's see. All right, David Capper. Thank you, man, in advance, because I know this is going to be a doozy. He always leaves us the best comments, man. Very in-depth, and he always throws us in some really cool recommendations. And I like his idea and a request for where is it at? For exploitation. But let's see if it's in this one. He says, Merry Christmas, BTM. It's an honor to provide theme music for the Revival House Star Wars Christmas special commentary. It is an honor to have it. Thank you. Quickie comment to round out 2019. Travolta exploitation. He says, Broken Arrow, directed by John Woo. Staying Alive, directed by Sly Stallone. Battlefield Earth, written by L. Ron Hubbard. Pulp Fiction by some foot fetish weirdo. Yeah, I mean, we've already started the Travolta exploitation. We got 2 in the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, where do we go from that? Where do we go from Face Off has been? Why haven't we done Face Off yet?
Exactly.
That's an easy one to do. I would do Battlefield Earth because I think it'd be fun to just fucking troll all over and fuck with.
I'm gonna come all over it.
I'm down. I think January is going to be request exploitation, so I wouldn't mind picking off something from this list and maybe even doing like a Rush Hour. We gotta fucking get Alone in the Dark out of there. But yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe we need to do a couple.
I love this ending too.
It's a great ending. Maybe we got to do a couple of months of requests. He says regarding, or do you want to say something about the flick? You inhaled.
I was just gonna say it makes me want to fucking play remember the Dark Knight. What was the third one that everybody didn't
Rises.
like, but that was the only one I actually played and enjoyed. It makes me want to play that again. It makes Batman interesting.
Oh, the games.
Yeah, the game.
What was it called?
I think it was
fuck.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was the one where you got to drive the Batmobile.
Origins? Is that Origins or is that Dark? I don't fucking remember.
I don't remember.
Okay, and then he also says regarding The Counselor by Ridley Scott sucking, because we talked about that. He says, I think Ridley's brother Tony killed himself during the film's production, but after only a week off, Ridley went right back to work directing, so maybe that led to the film's stilted execution and tone. I heard even the cast was surprised the production pressed, so they're walking, acting on eggshells around the director, who is kind of falling apart inside. That'd be interesting. I haven't read that, but I don't know. It kind of feels like the whole fucking thing fell apart in the editing too. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that fucking shit sucked at ground zero, even from the writing. I don't know. But that's an interesting tidbit. I remember when Tony Scott killed himself. Didn't he jump off the Golden Gate Bridge?
I didn't know about it.
Yeah, and he directed Days of Thunder, and he directed, he's a big director in his own right. Yeah, I'm not too sure. He says he has a YouTube Pop Mart tour story in 1997 because we brought that up. The lemon. He says, back in the day, I was dating this rich girl who was okay looking, but a pretty big flaky weirdo. Anywho's, she got us front row tickets to the U2 Pop Mart tour when it came through Vancouver. She surprised me with the tickets and a silver reflective bomber jacket to wear.
Hey, here's a funny little thing. I thought you originally said Pockmark, and I thought this was going back to the fucking
James Woods
story. So I was thinking a Pockmark story.
No, the U2 Pop Mart Lemon, where they played in the Big Lemon or whatever. Oh wait, is it over? You wouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let Capper, if with your permission, I'm going to let this wrap so I can read your comments in peace, but it's the end. And what are we listening to? Like Frank Sinatra or something? I can't hear it.
Mm-hmm. He already said it.
Okay. And now he's walking away. They're going to show him like being chased, right? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. This is really cool, by the way. Them implying he killed him.
Mm-hmm.
The bloody feet. And then it's going to be like a Benny Hill segment, right?
She could have just had a rag and he just stepped in it by accident as he was leaving.
Okay.
That's possible.
Yeah, but we just need to cue that music. When he's getting chased. It's pretty cool. Hold on. Look at him dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gave it a 7. What do you think it maybe would shoot up to? I know you didn't give it a proper watch. We just kind of talked over it. But maybe that kind of...
Yeah, I need to watch it again. But I like it. I'm going to buy it.
Doesn't he come? Look, that's so funny. That's so less. Okay, so let me finish your comment. Yeah, we're talking about the Pop Mart tour. We should do, you should suggest that James Woods get together with Edward James Olmos and get together with Bryan Adams and who's another one. And they need to go on the road and call it the Pop Mart tour.
That'd be donk. Oh yeah, Todd Phillips. I didn't know Todd Phillips directed Hated, that documentary about Gigi Allen.
I didn't know her. Did you watch it? I didn't know.
I watched it years ago. Was he a fucking Gigi Allen fan? How about a Gigi Allen biopic played by Joaquin Phoenix?
He could do it. He probably would be all method and smear his real shit. He'd insist.
If we get to see his real cock. He might actually have to fucking get in, like he's so method, he'd have to get into a freezer to make his cock shrink, to make it the smallest cock ever. Like Gigi Allen's.
Did Gigi Allen have the small dick? I've never seen that.
Oh, he was proud of having the smallest dick ever.
Really? Okay. Well, you two, we gotta respect the Capperfield here, and we gotta finish his story. And he says, she surprised me with the tickets to the U2 Pop Mart tour, and also with a silver reflective bomber jacket to wear to the show. And all I had to do was boyfriend duties twice a week. I enjoyed the quote-unquote swaggy boyfriend life that dating this rich flaky chick afforded me, so I just shut the hell up and wore the jacket and went to the show. I'm a whore, he says. I'm not the biggest U2 fan, but I knew I was going to see a spectacle. So the concert starts, and me and my flaky girlfriend are pressed up against the railing at the front of the concert. And while there, I look down the security row along the front of the stage, and I see a young girl who is obviously being slightly crushed against the fence about 30 feet down from me. But within a few seconds, a huge security guard pulled her out of the crowd like she weighed nothing, set her down, and she ran off to the closest gate to rejoin the mass of fans. I thought that was pretty cool, and it showed how even though people were excited, it was a chill night of U2 fandom. And that's when I got caught, he says. So I'm front row at a massive stadium show, leaning on the railing, looking to my immediate right, just chilling, taking in the experience. I then look up to the stage, and I swear this is true. Bono is looking down at me, shrugging as if to say, quote, you can come to my show. You came to my fucking show, got front row tickets, wore a gosh dang silver bomber jacket, and aren't even going to look at me. What the fuck? Within milliseconds, I went from random guy leaning on the fence to screaming U2 fan because I legitimately thought that I pissed off Bono. Again, I'm a whore. He's pleasing everybody. Happy holidays, BTM.
Dog.
I've had those stories too, where I got called out by somebody on the stage, but it wasn't a U2 concert. It was like a club show,
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I went to see Lamb of God in their club show days, and I fucking loved that band back in their first couple albums, and I got to see him the perfect time, like peak. In a club, like the best time you'd want to see him if you were into that band. Perfect number of albums, whatever. And the singer was dealing with alcoholism at the time, and he was wasted, and he was, asking everybody to throw the horns up. I always thought it was very cliche. What he was doing was, I don't know if it was middle finger or the horns. I can't remember which one it was. It was probably the horns, but I always thought it was very cliche to do that. So I never want to do it. So I just threw my fist in the air like I was some supremacist or something. And he looks at me with a drunk stupor in his face and calls me out and fucking tells me to put my fucking horn. And I fucking did it like a whore. I'm like, all right. I was like, but it was pretty cool though.
Hey, I'm seeing goofs. This film takes place in 1981. The Energizer Bunny is shown in the TV advertisement, but in real life, the mascot was not introduced until 88.
What is that? What is that stairwell scene? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Hey, when did that come out? What's it even called? Does anybody know what that fucking song's called?
I don't know.
I'm going to look that up.
It's always on commercials, though.
Yeah, but it just doesn't sound like an early 80s song. I'm going to Joker dance scene music song. That here, it'll come right up. What the fuck? Oh, that's Gary Glitter? Gary Glitter?
Gary Glitter.
I didn't know that was Gary Glitter. I've always heard the name Gary Glitter and him being a pedophile, but I didn't know that was the fucking song that played.
That's a perfect choice now that I know that.
Well, when did that come out? Gary Glitter. Okay, so it probably is dated appropriately. I always felt it sounded like a 90s song. What do I know? I just knew Gary Glitter as a pedophile with a bad hair wig.
Oh yeah.
But
that's my guy.
That song doesn't even have fucking words, does it?
Hey.
That's your guy? Yeah, that's hey. I got to look that up when we're done recording. Anyway, Capper, you're the man, dude. And those are really good requests, man. I think we got to get a Travolta in this month at least. That'd be kind of fun. Surprisingly, I don't think you even put Face Off. Put Broken Arrow, though. I've never seen Broken Arrow. I remember Todd really liked Broken Arrow.
I want to get Face Off. It's like $6 on Blu-ray.
Is it? Christian Slater just kind of reeks of cringe to me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily gravitate towards whatever he's in, but I guess I don't necessarily write it off either. Mutineer, he also commented on the Star Wars Holiday Special. They've basically known about the Henry Lee Lucas hoax basically since the beginning, but have been covering it up for no other reason when it comes to make than it would make the Texas Rangers look bad to have been fooled so completely by a brain damaged guy who never made it past 6th grade.
Fuck me. It also like seems like they might have just like liked the idea of like, hey, yeah, he's confessing to all these. We get to be the cops that solve these crimes, and like, yeah, we'll go down in history as like these really good cops that fucking solved all these crimes and brought this killer to justice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You hear about all these. You also hear about all these things where the pressure on the law enforcement side, like they just want to put a name to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's like we don't give a fuck. We just need somebody to go down for this. I guess it probably doesn't look good to have so many open cases.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's cool. Yeah, I still need to watch that doc on Netflix. I still haven't.
We definitely know he's killed at least 2 or 3 people. That might have been all he killed.
Really? And he just took a lot of credit?
Yeah.
Interesting. Does it go into that stuff on the documentary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I really, really need to watch it. Thanks, Mutineer, you the man. Ishmael Premier, he also commented on Star Wars Holiday Special. He says, he quotes Freddy. Nice hearing from you, Carlos. Did we talk about that?
Probably. We always bring that up.
I guess we did. Thanks, dude. Psycho for the beginning. We had a comment by Shannon McLean. Says, could you please comment on the movie? You hardly even mentioned the movie. And it looks like Zach commented. He says that would interrupt our conversation, though.
Exactly. Like, what do you think we're here to do? Like, just because we're watching a movie and talking, we gotta be talking about the movie?
That's so funny, man.
We're not the director. We don't know all the behind the scenes stories.
Well, we're sorry. Hopefully you still liked what we were chatting about. I can't remember that far back. I think there was an incester joke 2 or 3 in there, and that's pretty relevant to that fucking movie, right?
Hell yeah.
Hey, and I didn't even think about it, but I actually talked about your movie today when I mentioned Mommy's Flower Water. So There you go. That makes us good, right? But thank you, Shannon McLean, for taking the time to drop a comment. We always appreciate that. And technically, that's fair criticism. You know, she didn't say fuck off. She didn't say, damn, just like one word that always annoys us. She made it clear what her criticism was. She'd prefer if we would have mentioned the movie more. Duly noted. Adrian Mendoza, Star Wars Holiday Special, left us a couple of fun comments. He says, The Rise of Skywalker is a bad movie with some good parts sprinkled in. At 7:21 mark, Aaron, I bet you crammed a few sausages in your mouth. I unfortunately have not crammed any in my mouth in a while. Okay.
Sausages are donk.
Sorry, bro. He says, I cannot wait to see Uncut Gems. I've heard that Jane the Virgin is a good show. Zach, please go to the doctor. I will check out The Confession Killer. Zach, thanks for recommending on Twitter the documentary Don't Fuck with Cats. I got to watch that one too.
Hell yeah. That's a good one.
And that one's even better than the Henry Lee Lucas one, right?
It's just even more fucking like bizarre and like, what the fuck?
So I gotta get caught up, man. And now that I'm reading it under Adrian Mendoza, when he actually puts it here in text, Uncut Gems could have easily been Uncut Cocks. Missed opportunity in the title of the bar.
That was my idea. I said like he should do like that was the whole circumcised bit. Like, oh, he wasn't circumcised as a kid. Remember that whole thing? That's a fucking great movie idea.
Missed opportunity. He also says, I'm for a Tu Wong Fu commentary. Please tell us what was bleeped out. Okay, I had Zach bleep some stuff out. Every now and again, I'm like, that didn't come out right. I think it's probably worth bleeping that out because it sounded terrible. That's the benefit of not doing shit live, right? When we do, that's the benefit of having stuff pre-recorded because sometimes people say shit where it doesn't come out right.
Hell yeah.
People are idiots on Twitter, by the way. When they say shit, they get some fired. You can delete shit on Twitter. I know. Well, people, if they're big enough, people done screenshot that as soon as it goes up. So even when you take it down, people blast it everywhere. But sometimes, like in the case of that one comedian that got fired from SNL the same week he got announced of being hired, they dug shit up from like a year ago, right? It's like, I don't know. But
it's always the worst one is things that are just taken out of context and they probably didn't mean what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. So I'm like, just delete it. I don't like the way it sounds, and it does sound pretty bad. So it's like, axe it. But other than that, let me see. What else do we see? Did he make a request in here somewhere? Oh, he's talking about go to the doctor, man, because you want your condition that you're talking about.
And Tu Wong Fu.
Fuck yeah, that's exactly what I want to talk about. Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu. I'm all for it. We can technically consider that a request since you said it. And we got to patch things up with Mac because I can't do Tu Wong Fu without Mac.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a fucking zany movie. It would definitely benefit with having Mac on there. And it's got fucking our boy in it.
Looking like a fucking hot piece of ass that I would fuck.
It's got Leguizamo. And so we got to have Mac. So
Has he got legs that don't quit? Those Leguizamos.
Hopefully Mendoza, Mac will come around and he'll sit there and let all that dumb shit blow over like he normally does before the month's over because I'm all for a Tu Wong Fu commentary. It's definitely talkable. Is that a word? Talkable. Lastly, Star Wars Holiday Special. Witch King says, The Darth Carnival. Did you say that?
See, that's fucking great. I didn't even think of that.
The Darth Carnival. I almost thought that sounds like something Zach would have said. He must be quoting him.
That should be a fucking shirt.
That's fucking awesome, man. See, you and Witch King, you guys are on the same fucking wavelength, man. You guys talk the same. You know
he's a step above me.
When you
coming up with these great puns.
When you skip a beat, man, he's there to fucking pick up your slack, and he's like, dude, Darth Carnival, how did you fucking miss that?
Exactly.
So fucking applicable as shit. Thanks, Witch King. Suburban Commando. We got a Russian user with a name I can't pronounce because it's all in Russian lettering and a Russian word that I don't know what it says, but it's one word. So I can only assume it probably says fuck off or something like that. I have no idea.
Maybe it says dank.
We would be able to, I can't, I'm using the producer app, so I can't like copy and paste into, a translator, but I think you can from just the regular one. We'll have to look at that afterward and we'll find out, but maybe it's something good. Maybe they're saying dank in Russian, but thank you. Whatever your name is, I can't pronounce it. We'll address it later if it's something positive. Problem Child 2 commentary, listener by the name of Musa Mibuhangana.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It was what? You replied, it was me all along, Austin. What?
What'd they say first? I don't even remember.
You just said boo.
Yeah, like I loved your boos. We're the heels when you boo us. So yeah, I responded with the classic fucking McMahon. It was me all along, Austin.
Oh, okay. So I do have to notice. I got to address. It's funny. This guy. I mean, his name is clearly African.
Oh yeah.
Musa Mubuhangana. I don't know. Isn't it funny? Why is Problem Child 2 so big on that continent?
I don't know. It's a great movie.
They know what they're fucking talking about over there on the continent of Africa.
Oh yeah,
because they got taste.
So it's probably a big thing in the zeitgeist, like pop culture. Like, oh yeah, you don't want to have a junior. Like every time they get pregnant, they're like, oh, I hope it's not a junior.
Well, and so let me reiterate. Problem Child 2 is really popular, but because I mean, like we got a boo here, so maybe he was wanting to watch the movie. But the Evans brothers, they were critical. They liked Problem Child 1, but didn't like Problem Child 2, right? Am I getting that correct? I don't know. Where you guys been, by the way, man? We haven't heard from the Evans brothers in a while.
Yeah, we haven't talked about fucking Problem Child in a while. They're just waiting for that.
We gotta do it, man. I don't want to lose them. You know what? Zach and I need to launch a TikTok account and do nothing but Problem Child fucking videos.
Exactly.
I was thinking about that, by the way. I was watching this video where they were talking about branching out, and it's like the necessary evils. It's like, it's fucking bullshit, but you got to stay on the cusp. You got to not just do YouTube. You got to fucking do the Instagram. You got to get on TikTok. He's like, yes, TikTok. And they were talking about how TikTok was, I know it's like a lot of kids or whatever, but there's like grown people like Kevin Hart, celebrities are getting on TikTok. They were talking about how hard,
like Vine.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Vine thing, but short videos, right? And maybe if we did it, we'd just do it to kind of even just vlog, send a little post out. But anyway, it's just the purpose. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because people that are trying to like make it big in one format, like a lot of people are trying to do YouTube or whatever. They were talking about how it's impossible now to really go viral on YouTube. It's next to impossible. It's so hard. And the algorithms have changed, and it's one of those things that's been happening for a couple of years. The smaller people, even people under 100, even if you have 100,000 subs, like your shit's not getting out there. Pretty much if you have 100,000 subs at this point, you're pretty much just feeding your audience directly. Like, your shit's not really getting circulated. But something like TikTok, it's right now it's relatively easy to go viral, and it's the fastest growing platform, but it's still the smallest, but it's the fastest growing platform out of all of them, I guess, is what I heard. And I guess this guy was saying it's predicted that like in the next year, there's going to be 1,000 new fucking stars just from TikTok. Right. And it's like basically, I don't know. Maybe we should try it for fucking fun, but I'm kind of afraid what your short-term videos would be, but I kind of embrace it because I think they were also saying embrace the cringe too. You'd be fucking just posting 30-second videos of you taking shits, dropping loads. Yeah. But anyway, I might look at it just to see what it's all about and see what the fuck we can do. I don't know. Are any of you fucking guys on TikTok? Are we too old to even be talking about TikTok? I don't know how young. We don't really have young fans. We're hitting that prime demo of like 18 to fucking 45 or something. So I don't know, man. Let us know. Maybe that's our problem, Zach. We got to get on TikTok so we can get in those young audiences.
Then we could get the fucking like 10-year-olds and then all my pedophile jokes will be even funnier.
No, that's not what oh, I got to read this. Okay, so Zach and I are resurrecting Cinema Enema next week. So I kind of want to, maybe I should read this on there, but I kind of don't. I kind of want to read it on here too. But we got a comment on happiness and it just says, really? With 3 question marks. And the username is Diana Prince. Is this, It's either Wonder Woman or it's Darcy. Now, Darcy goes by Diana Prince, right? From the Joe Bob show, the new Joe Bob.
I think that's her real name.
Okay.
I'm not sure though.
It sounds like a total porn name, but it could be her real name. Anyway, it got me wondering, did I make a Diana Prince prolapse asshole joke on this? And did she really listen to it? Because I did give her my info when we saw her at the convention.
Yeah, what if they're listening, baby?
Fuck, maybe they were listening to like, I don't know, but I wonder if this is the Diana Prince. And did she get offended that easily? Or is it just another Diana Prince that was disappointed they didn't get to watch the movie?
It could have been the fucking opening soundbite.
Like
that's a great fucking, that I would say really to that if someone called me and said that.
Anyway, if that is the real Diana Prince Darcy, please comment again and let it be known. And, if you're offended at a joke we said, it's all in jest. We don't take it back, but it's all in jest.
We love that shit. We love the Joe Bob.
Oh, we're fucking huge fans of Joe Bob, man. I probably made a joke about like the porn. I don't know.
I love porn.
I think Josh is a big fan of the prolapsed asshole videos that she has. Even even he said, I'd be much more interested in interviewing Darcy than Joe Bob. Like, okay, good luck with that. Not me. I mean, but how much can she really say?
She dives in on it on the new Christmas thing. Yeah, she has kind of a sad story.
Oh, really? Well, then maybe she would be a good if it was like a real conversation, not just like bullshit PR about your work. She's the kind of person I'd want to like have a real like deep end conversation with. Okay. But thank you though, Diana Prince. Hopefully you liked what you heard. It doesn't sound like it, but maybe you'll come back, try again. Don't Breathe commentary. Ishmael Premier going through those archives, buddy. We appreciate it. He says, one of my favorites from you guys. That was a good one, man. That was the debut of Shooting Ropes.
Hell yeah.
And Money. That's a good one, man. I remember that one being a lot of fun. Biodome, why you mad bro 352? Why you mad bro 352 says Biodome reminds me of 9th grade. Fuck yeah.
Fucking great time in everybody's life. 9th grade. That could mean anything. That could mean like, oh, I think of Biodome and I get my horror. I think of Biodome and I get really fucking bummed out. Yeah,
who knows? It reminds me of the 90s, video stores and shit like that. But it reminds me of the 90s when I used to buy comic books and they'd have like ads in the comic books. And I remember I still had some comic books up until somewhat recently where it had Biodome ads in there. It just reminds me of Sega Game Gear, Biodome. Fucking,
why was there never a Biodome Sega Game Gear game?
I don't know. They didn't know what they fucking had. They didn't know what they had. Thanks though. Why you mad, bro? We appreciate that. Hopefully you keep listening. And we do a lot of shit like that might take you back to 9th grade. So,
that's our whole mission statement.
So you're a bit older than us. If that takes you back to 9th grade, then you're older. Because I want to say that came out. What year did that come out? 96. So I was 10 years old, man. So I was probably in the 4th grade when that came out.
I was watching that movie like on VHS when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're probably a few years older than us, man. We got some other shit you might like. And if you like the Wheeze, man, check out our Son-in-Law. I still think the Son-in-Law commentary is one of my favorites.
Oh, right?
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Thanks, dude. Twilight Zone, the Silence commentary. Kwame Nukaruma. I probably messed that up, but I apologize. But they say one of the worst episodes ever, quotes, he says. Where does it say in the wager that the guy locked up and not allowed to speak was allowed to be tortured too? by the other douchehead.
Yeah, I don't hate that episode.
I don't know. I don't know it well enough, but it sounds like you got a point there, man. Check out our other Twilight Zone episode. We got to do another short one soon.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have one of those days where we just knock out like 3 short episodes to kind of have in the chamber and sprinkle in there. They're kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of cool to have. We should do that soon, actually, this month, maybe. Twilight Zone Midnight Sun got a comment right after by Peggy Smulligan. I don't know who this is directed at. Have you seen this comment? So it's 2 very short sentences on top of each other. It just says 2 assholes, period. What a waste, period. So
she probably thought it was the episode.
Is it well, hold on. Is there like 2 like fresh, is it the bitches in this episode with the 2 hot tied assholes that didn't get fucking fucked?
I'm assuming she's talking about us, talking about the movie.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming she's talking about us, but
that's not fair though. I'm at least one of, like, I'd say you're an asshole. I'm more of a cock.
Okay. That's so fucking 2 assholes. What a waste. And
you need, assholes get fucked by cocks. So
we gotta, oh yeah, I get it. We gotta get a t-shirt with just me and your face on the front and have 2 assholes. What a waste.
Hell yeah.
That'd be funny. Well, thanks, Peggy Smulligan. Go fuck yourself.
Hell yeah.
No, it's fine.
Ass play too.
If we didn't appreciate even the criticism, we wouldn't read it on the air. But 2 assholes, what a waste. That's exactly what my father said. Let's see here. Interview with Stephen Jeffries when he was talking about Fright Night with the Lush way back in the day by Terry C. He simply says, I love 976 Evil as well. You know, that's a movie I actually never seen.
Oh yeah. It's not one I go back to often. It's been a while.
I've never actually watched it. Is that the one that was directed by Robert Englund, or was that the sequel only?
Robert Englund, yeah.
Okay. Because there is a part 2, right?
That one wasn't directed by Robert Englund.
Okay. David Capper on Look Who's Talking Now. That was our most recent commentary. Capper says, La Bamba playing quote of the episode, he says, at 20 minutes. Classic. Biosploitation, please and thanks. Happy New Year. We got to do a biosploitation. I think after we're done kind of getting through these requests like we're talking about, I would love to do biosploitation because it would give us an opportunity. It would give me the excuse to finally watch John Carpenter's Elvis with Kurt Russell.
We're going to get to do the BioShock series of games too.
Yeah, and really, we could do a stream of that. But I've never seen John Carpenter's Elvis with Kurt Russell. I kind of forget it exists, right? Because there's like a TV movie. But I would want to do that. What else do we? La Bamba is like a no-brainer. We should do La Bamba. And that's so quotable. But there's so many movies we could do. What else could we do? Maybe this is like we're already on the theme of music bio for fuck's sake. But there's a ton, man. Buddy Holly with Gary Busey. Ugh. What a weird Buddy Holly he was. But I think that's a great idea, man, and I would love to tackle it. So maybe that's something we could do for February. We'll see. Thanks, dude. Mutineer says on Look Who's Talking Now, fuck New Year's. I think he's quoting you right at the top of the show. Fuck New Year's, because we were apologizing for doing a late Christmas. He says,
exactly.
He says, you crazy. Kirstie Alley was hot till I found out she was a nutty Scientologist.
That'll do it too, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Scientology.
She's crazy, and she's got a fucking gobbler, and she's always had a gobbler, even when she was quote unquote young. But you know, remember when she like blew up like a blimp, and she just had an epic gobbler? Yeah, I don't know. You can have her. You can both you guys can fucking tag it. I'm good.
Hell yeah.
I'll just
I'll watch first, and then I'll hit it afterwards. I'll get some of his commies all over me.
No, I'll sell the footage to Mr. Skin and reap all the profits, but you guys can have it. Thanks, dude. Craig Jamroz. Hopefully I said your name correctly. But Craig Jamroz says on It's Pat the Movie, he has a couple of comments. He says, ooh, STFU, you know you love it. Smiley face, LOL. He's like, the guy represents the audience. He just has to know it's driving him crazy to find out. Duh. Simple. It's not deeper than that. It's a fucking old SNL skit that never should have been a movie. Mildly funny. Then he says, you guys want to review something funny? Review Party Monster starring Macaulay Culkin. Well, another smiley. Laughs for days. We should do a Macaulay exploitation. We've already started it.
Fuck yeah.
We did The Good Son. He was in Uncle Buck with John Candy. I love that movie. But yeah,
he was in Jacob's Ladder. That's been in our box for a while.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. I mean, we're getting a lot of requests this week. Just so happens to be when we pitch the idea for a request exploitation. So you guys are giving us a lot of fuel here, man. Thanks. I'd be down for Party Monster, right? Isn't that where he's kind of like a queer, kind of like weird part, like
I don't know.
I think Macaulay's like part of that whole like scene, and I think he's kind
of... He gets gay in it? Oh, fuck yeah.
He's like I think he's gender bending a little bit in that movie, right? Him and Seth Green and stuff. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit. All I remember is, I think John Stamos has a cameo in it. Am I wrong on that? Anyway, we're gonna really read it. Exploited Cinema, like I said, they're not gonna be able to read your comments because new episodes aren't guaranteed. I want to say they're not coming, but then they surprise us with a new one. But anyway, so we're gonna read those on this show. Dawn of the Dead just dropped from the archives, the vault of Exploited Cinema, and John H. Shelton, filmmaking, photography, and it cuts off. I'm pretty sure it says production. He's in the biz. He says, classic. Love Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Who doesn't, man? Zach thinks it's overrated, so fuck him. But I fucking love it. Thanks for commenting, brother. Look who's talking now. William Lowry says, Happy New Year's, Revival House crew. Looking forward to whatever y'all have in store for 2020. Also, Stallone wants to do a Rocky sequel. Does that mean we're finally getting Rocky 7, Adrian's Revenge? And I commented, that's a pretty killer Simpsons reference. So... now let's see. I'm going to read this one. Dawn of the Dead, Exploited Cinema, Rotting Pumpkin. His avatar is a rotting pumpkin too. It's cool. He says, hell yeah. Is that Mac in disguise?
Oh, hell yeah.
Mac in disguise. Hell yeah. What the fuck? My phone's getting bloated up. So we're about to wrap up, guys. Let's see. Oliver Closeoff commented on Dawn of the Dead as well. He said, Scream Factory needs to get their hands on this masterpiece. I'm sure they would if they could. I mean, there's something holding it up because somebody's putting out a version of it, right? I can't remember who it is. I think they're bringing over that box set that was European, like over here or something like that. Mm-hmm. But obviously they picked up Day of the Dead, so I'm sure they'd love to have it. Something's holding it up. They need to put out fucking Trick or Treat.
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever get announced? I know Pet Sematary 2 is getting it. Did that come out? Pet Sematary 2?
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, so I need to look in that as well. Yeah, we'll see though. I'd love a 4K remastering of that box set that dropped in the early 2000s that had all the versions, right? And all the cuts and the zombie version and all that shit.
I got that.
But I want a 4K. They need to remaster it kind of like how Synapse did Suspiria.
Didn't you say you don't have that box set?
I don't. Todd does. And I regretted not buying it 5 years ago because I found it at a used place and it looked pretty mint. And I think they only wanted like $20 for it. I'm like, I should have got it.
Fuck, I'll just give you mine. I've never been a huge fan of the movie.
Fuck, I would love it. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I'm gonna hold you to that. All right.
I don't hate the movie. It's just like by the time I saw it, it was one of those movies that was like fucking pumped up so big that by the time I watched it, I'd already seen like a lot of other zombie movies that I liked, so it didn't live up to the expectations.
Dude, I'll fucking take. I've always wanted that box set, and I've always fucking lamented not getting it when I could. I mean, I could still find it, but I've always envied Todd's copy. I think it's just kind of beat up too. But anyway,
I remember I got mine used, so it might be a bit beat up, but I always take care of it.
Todd prided himself on having every version of Dawn of the Dead that ever came out. Every version of the VHS, every DVD pressing, every fucking like laser disc. But anyway, so he's proud of it. But I'd like to see it get reskinned too. It needs a 4K transfer. If they can make Suspiria look as good as Synapse did, fucking somebody can. That's like a league above your standard 70s horror movie. Like that one could get a 4K. I think that could do it. Anyway, Cannibal Holocaust featuring Riverman. Adrian, just somebody by the name of Adrian. It's not the Mendoza. Don't get jealous, Mendoza. They say, you guys have a size complex. Okay. We talking about cocks here? We talking about general mass?
Was that one where we were fighting? It might have been.
Oh, an ego.
They're referring to that.
Ego complex? Maybe. I'll have to go back and listen to that one to see if you're in the wrong or not. But thanks. We appreciate it. Hopefully, if you were just passing by and you found that one, if you listen to more of our shit, we've been around for years and years, you're going to see an ebb and flow in the relationship of the show and how we grow and adjust. So that's not reflective. If that was one of those episodes where we were going at each other's fucking jugulars, that's not reflective of every show. But check it out. Listen to some more shit, and hopefully we hear some more comments from you. But thanks, Adrian. Last comment before we close out. Salute the Shorts, Zeke the Plumber by B&B Loved Peace. That's the commenter. He says, yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Obviously, this is Salute Your Shorts, so maybe we were talking about maybe doing Are You Afraid of the Dark on this one.
Hell yeah.
But we've done quite a few of them. So go check in the archives, and we want to do some more soon. But anyway, guess who has to get to going? I do. I want to wish you guys a happy new year. It's going to be a great one. Hopefully you guys are going to stick around with us for 2020. And here's to more growth. Help us reach our resolutions by getting in the homes of more folks, getting in the pockets of more folks. Check us out on all sorts of social media. We're everywhere. Give us a like, share us. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like this video, notification bell, all that fucking bullshit. And share us with people you think might enjoy us as well. And of course, as always, if you're not listening to us on podcast services, we put the links of those everywhere as well in this YouTube video. If you're watching us there, social media, follow us over to whatever your poison is, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and give us a follow over there, and or at least just leave us feedback, a 5-star rating. That stuff goes a long way, and it's definitely going to help us achieve those 2020 goals. That's all we got for now, Zach, unless you got something else to say.
Fucking Kermit the Hedgehog.
All right. Bye-bye, puppets.
End of the week at the Revival House. Next month's theme, you gotta figure it out. Italian zombies or Pauly Shore, a slasher with a knife and the girl next door. And 1 second in, get it all queued up and ready, hit play in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye puppets, Zach Pete and a solo cut band. Couldn't miss Cameron's loving, Josh Scott failed and Riverman's babe. Bye-bye puppets. Sounds good, like this country used to.